And we are live with episode 17, I believe, of the DODCAST. I am Corey, Jag, and Marco, and as always, with me, Tony Compton.
Welcome back to another week of the DODCAST. It's a beautiful day on January 27th, 2023. Recapping week one rail yard, I should say. B1?
Yeah, I call it Railroad.
I don't even know what it's called.
I keep calling it Railroad 1.
Yeah, I've been calling it Railroad 1 as well. And we're also looking forward to week 2 on Shamil.
Yes.
Maybe not looking forward to it, but we're looking at it.
I look forward to Allied side at very least.
Yeah, I like Shamil. It's not I don't love it, but I like it. But we'll get into all that. It's not perfect. And yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. As always, we love the feedback from the last episode. We got a lot to talk about this week. A lot on the docket, so we're going to get right into it. First things first, Corey, you did want to mention DOD Movies is down.
Yes.
DODmovies.net.
Unfortunately, just like last year around the same time, DOD Oh, it's back up.
Back up. Breaking news.
Okay.
DODmovies.net is back up.
So never mind. It looks like I know that Matt Bazana, Die Life, was talking about donating to get this back up. I'm imagining a couple other people. So yeah, thanks to
who is running this? Or who?
Damien.
Damien. Okay.
Yeah.
I could not remember. So yeah, looks like it's back up. So we don't need to do the old crowdsource fund thing again. But
pretty clutch.
Yeah, keep your eye on it. I imagine it will be down again someday.
Yeah. Hopefully, like another year.
A lot of good stuff on there.
I know. There's a lot of movies people, I guess, have been looking for that they couldn't find. I know Brandon was looking for the Chevsky movies, which there is one on here, at least. You know, you got Die Life 4 there. I made that back in the olden days. Mm-hmm. Die Life 3, which is a broken download, unfortunately, so it's missing the whole last song. All sorts of crazy shit on here. You got all this Jaginator. Look at the Jaginator.
Look at all the Jaggin collection.
None of the numbers actually make sense, because I think number 4 was actually like number 8, and then some other movie I said was my first solo movie, but there's 1 solo, there's 2 solo, there's 3 solo, so I don't know.
And that's not even Marco Brothers movie, which is my personal favorite.
Is that on here? I don't think it is either, so yeah, maybe we got to get that uploaded here so more people can see that for the first time. I know Brandon did just upscale that, which is awesome. It looks pretty sick.
Oh, really? I'll have to check that out. I did not know that. That last song is like one of my favorite.
Yeah, I was holding that song for years.
God, not only is it obviously a great song, but you just edited it really well. That last bit.
Right, I was saving up.
That last song, all those frags are just like some of the best frags I've ever seen.
Ryan had ridiculous clips from those couple seasons.
I mean, you did too. You had that Anzio clip with the Stas.
Yeah,
that was a nuts clip.
That week was funny because I was making the frag of the week and I had to ask everybody, do you think it's okay if I make mine the clip of the week? And they were like, well, it depends. Was it a good clip? And then I'd have to show it to them and they'd be like, yeah, that's the clip of the week.
Yeah.
You got really, 5 out of 6 with the Stas, so I think you're
nothing better than that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so no more worry about DOD movies for a year, I'm guessing. So thank you, whoever, I know Die Life, but besides him, whoever else properly donated up to that to get it back up again. Awesome.
Yeah, whoever greased Damien, we appreciate it. Let's keep trucking. Big announcement. There will be a Frag of the Week. This season's first Frag of the Week will be made by Red Dog. Big thanks to Red Dog stepping up, taking on this project.
Right. He was talking about that in my Twitch chat, too, so I'm glad he stepped up. Good to see some people grabbing those. I know Laura's been doing a bunch. I think she still would probably be accepting clips from the playoffs last season. At least it might have been just speculation that maybe she hadn't got enough submissions to really put it all the way together yet. So if you do have clips from playoffs last season, get them to Laura, because that would be awesome.
Interesting.
I might even. I haven't gone through my demos from the playoffs, so maybe I should be taking my own advice.
There might be something in there you should throw at her.
Right.
This will be a 2-weeker. Railroad 1 and Shamil.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken. Now I got to double check.
Yeah,
I think I saw that.
Where's the Frag of the Week chat? Okay, it is.
This past week on Railroad and this upcoming week on Shamil.
Perfect. So if you didn't get clips on Rail Yard, which, for the record, just to call a few people out who I know had clips, Duality, Illusion, Gall, Vertex.
Oh, Gall had a big clip.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
I was almost really depressed about that, though, because I had to leave to go do the T3 ICAP match, right? And then I thought for a second that I might have missed a Gall ace. Because it looked like he was about to ace, and I thought I was like, dude, I could have called another Gall ace live. That would have been sick. But I think he only got 5 out of
I
the
think
6.
he got 5, and then he got like 3 more
Later,
on a
yeah.
respawn.
Like the next
Still
spawn
though, I mean,
in.
that was an initial. It was an insane initial by Gall. I think he just went underpass and just shot everyone he saw.
It happened really fast on the death notice. It was very, very fast. So
Yeah, guys, get your shit timed and do it right. Don't be that guy that just sends in a demo with no times.
Please.
Or girl. That's just not nice.
Yeah. For a movie maker, that is the worst nightmare. And make sure your times are right too, because the second worst thing you can do is send a time and then the movie maker goes to that time and you've like just spawned or like just got killed and nothing happens, and then you just have to sit there and watch all the way forward and hope that it happens, and then it doesn't, and then you got to go all the way back, and it's like, well, was this where the clip ends? Is that what the time they put is, etc.?
And at that point, you don't even want to put it in there, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, fuck this clip.
Exactly. So just time it.
Time your stuff right. Get them uploaded, sent to Red Dog, and good luck. We'll look forward to that.
Beautiful.
Should be exciting. What do we got next?
Oh, the Price is Right trailer. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I did see.
Okay.
That's been put out today. I saw something about maybe a second trailer. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, I feature heavily in that. So if you're a fan of me yelling about things, check it out.
Bill was doing the 4-stage release on this movie, I assume.
Yeah. Multiple trailers for it's like got a
followed
Marvel
by the
movie release schedule.
Behind the Movie Maker documentary.
Could you imagine if we actually had
I would actually watch that.
I would be so curious. You know, it's one of those things that I think we don't even think about when we're doing movie making shit, and then it's like maybe people wouldn't mind seeing this whole process.
It would be interesting, and it might get people into it, you know, trying it themselves, because I feel like it's pretty big scare just looking at it from the outside. Like if you look at a Vegas file with all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Even like halfway through it just looks crazy.
It is.
So it's intimidating as hell.
It's like nightmarish if you don't know any better what you're looking at, you know? Like it just looks like you can't differentiate what exactly it is that you're seeing. It's just a bunch of
Didn't you guys make tutorial videos for movie making back in the day?
We did. I'm curious
like
if any of them are still around.
Maybe?
Kabooms, I think, are still around.
Oh yeah, I think he had some too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they're on his YouTube, so they were able to stick around for all this time. Whereas I think mine were just kind of like things I uploaded over the course of time, and you know whatever. So it's not anywhere it can be found anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I have people asking me all the time about like tutorials and stuff. So I should probably get a link for Kaboom's YouTube channel tutorial just to give people.
And speaking of tutorials, don't forget about Corey Price's tutorial videos on the maps, nades, what have you. I think he's got some like basic movement stuff.
Yeah, I threw a playlist together of that on my YouTube channel. I don't know, because he didn't have one made, so I just kind of was like, all right, I guess I'll do it.
Okay, there you go. Very nice.
Yeah, so there it is. Looks
so
like
head on over to Corey's YouTube and check out this playlist.
Yeah. Got I think every map from the season by the look of it. Maybe not. There might be some missing from here. I see Rail Yard, Solitude, Lenin, Railroad 2, Shamil. What the fuck else do we play this season?
I think Lenin is the only one you didn't mention.
I think Lenin was on there too. Thunder. There's no Thunder, I don't think. So, yeah, no Thunder that I can see here. I don't know if he didn't do Thunder or if I just missed it in among the other videos. I'll have to look real quick. How to play Solitude. Oh, yeah, there is a Thunder. There we go. So now it's got all the maps for this season.
Now it is complete.
Boom. So if you're wondering, like, what calls are, that was the main question that I was asked. Like, what calls are on everything. Nades, spots, common pre-fires, etc., etc. There it is. Which is the Corey Price Day of Defeat tutorials list on my YouTube for now, but I imagine once he sees this, he'll make his own playlist so that, you know, you can just go straight to his, so.
Yep, new player friendly. Check it out.
Yeah, big time. This is like perfect for anybody who is either just getting into DoD in general or just getting into the competitive side of DoD or hasn't played in fucking 10 years like a lot of us.
Just coming back and wants to kind of get their sea legs under them, see the few nades, have it all
refresher.
Slowly come back to them.
It's a beautiful thing to have those, because if those didn't exist, then I would have probably had to make one myself next, and that would have been a lot. A whole lot.
A whole lot. And it might not have liked where it ended up going.
No.
I wouldn't. 4 hours long each map.
Yeah, because I overdo everything, and it would have inevitably been the longest thing anyone's ever seen, so thankfully I don't have to. Right, Moss, I think, has been mostly okay. There's been a couple like delays in submissions. I think we're just doing it up until week 3 though. So like
the automatic turn-ins.
Yeah, where the whole team does it.
So maybe after week 3 it'll be more. You could get disputed. Not saying don't run it, obviously.
Right. But still, please do keep running.
But you may not have to instantly upload it.
Yeah.
But you will still need to have it, and it's possible at the end of the season admins just request everyone's. Just to see if people held on to them.
They could.
So I would just assume you're turning it in every week and get it zipped up, get it named up, and pretty much ready to go.
Right. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, sounds like everyone has submitted for the most part. I don't think there's any more delays, so that's good.
There was just the one.
Haven't heard of anyone having like performance issues with it.
No, I don't think so.
I think I heard someone on Icy Hot maybe mention they felt a skip or something, but it might have just been DoD in general.
Right, yeah, you never know.
Nothing to the point where we're like, this is fucked up or anything like that.
I know there was some kind of like update. It auto-updated itself, and some people are having problems with that, but that was like before.
I did have a problem with that, yeah. It like, the link that was provided to me, which I think Sick got from 9 when he originally posted it, that link will like try to download an older version, and it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know. It kept trying to save to my desktop or something. I don't know. Something weird was going on, and I eventually just had to go to the site and download it from there instead of that link, that zip file he has.
Okay, that's not.
So I would just use the site instead of whatever the zip is.
Yeah, I think that in my case, I actually had somebody. I think it was Debo just gave me directly the file, because when I opened it up, it was like a Win7 file, and like it wouldn't let me extract the file from the zip, so I just had to get the straight exe file. But if people need that too, it's in the draft lobby, I believe, from the last draft, because that's how he gave it to me, was he just threw it into the draft lobby.
Well, even then, that might be an older version, so I would just I would again reiterate just using the site.
Might as well. Yeah.
I got mine from there, and it's been fine since.
Right. If you have any problems with it, message an admin. Probably 9 in particular would be the quickest way to go about it. So.
And just to do a little more house cleaning, give you guys an update. We did start the VPN discussion last week. Got some good feedback.
Yeah.
Got a lot of information. And
let's see here. So from, Leah was kind of giving me the player's standpoint of like what it's actually doing for him, what it's accomplishing. And then it was lowering his ping from like 180 to 150, 140. When he's not using it, it's like the quick switch is super delayed, and he was getting stuck on corners and in doorways and stuff. He said he can't really speak to whether the VPN is making anyone more or less hittable or anything, but that just the VPN is basically like if you think he's laggy now, you should see him without the VPN kind of thing.
And this is exactly the feedback I was looking for when I brought it up. So thank you, Leo. Like, we just wanted your point of view, like the guys that are using it, just to give us a little more reasoning. And I don't know if he told you where he was VPNing to.
Let's see.
But that was also something I was curious about.
Yeah, it says if I can guess where the server is located. So it seems like he tries to do it based on the server location. So if it's New York, he VPNs through New York. If it's Chicago, he VPNs through Chicago. If it's Atlanta, he VPNs through Atlanta.
Okay, well, that's interesting. And I know he's probably one of the furthest south players there is. So he's kind of the extreme on that side.
Right, that is true.
It did feel like, I think he was about 150 in our match on the Chicago server.
I think so, yeah.
So that kind of reinforces what he's saying here a little bit.
Right, that backs it up too.
PDX was also around 150, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm guessing Chicago is just like one of the worst places for them to be playing in.
Right, yeah, you're
Besides like
getting...
the Seattle server.
Oh god, yeah. The Seattle server, I can't even imagine how that would play for them. I feel like even with the VPN, they'd have to be 180, 200 in that range, no matter what. I don't know that for sure, but that's my guess, just based off of years of DoD myself. And the other person who messaged me about it was Arachnid, who did say VPN can lower ping. He played in a DoD source Brazil league, and his routing to Brazil was shit, which means his ISP is taking an inefficient path to Sao Paulo, Brazil, but when using a VPN, it takes a more efficient and direct path to Sao Paulo, lowering his ping by about 40, which is basically what Leo said as well. He said, if my ISP was efficient, a VPN can only raise ping because there are more hops, but that's not always the case. And that a lot of VPNs are configurable to their VPN protocols, and they can be spotty depending on the node traffic. So that was a more technical explanation.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, someone on like a fiber connection in a major city in the U.S. is probably going to have a better route to New York to Dallas, what have you,
right?
Than someone who's on some shitty ISP out in rural Texas, you know.
Right, it does. I guess there are a lot of variables to take into account with stuff like that. The server location, their location, the quality of their internet, the speed of their internet, etc., can all come together to make a big potluck of lag or better ping, Seems like, though, overall, from the main people that I know of that are using VPNs in DoD are getting a good benefit for it overall, rather than like something that's just benefiting them or making it worse for anybody else. So
I don't think the Euros are using it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would like to hear if they're using it or not. So like, No Name, Louis, any of you guys hear this? Let us know. Nightmare. I think Manor watches too. Manor. If you guys use the VPNs, let us know. And yeah, I really appreciate the feedback again, Leo and Arachnid.
Big
typing
time.
up there. And again, I wasn't calling it a VPN conspiracy theory. I just wanted a little more information.
I like a good conspiracy.
Had we not gotten it, maybe I would have come on today and said conspiracy. But
True.
I'm gonna let it go for now. I am still looking into it though, and I guess my main beef with it is like it's clearly fucking up the game though on like server switches and shit. Like something weird's happening there.
Yeah, the Gordon model thing is a super weird glitch that happens at halftime.
It's so weird that happens of all things, and I'm just wondering why. So
right,
yeah, we're gonna keep digging into that. But good stuff. Thanks for the feedback, everyone.
Big time, much appreciated.
Yep. Next update. Still no stats for this week. Sweet Lou's busy, I'm guessing, with some real life shit. So we don't have the numbers quite at hand as we'd like,
which is okay.
Which is fine.
We can check the screenshots. Prepared. But yeah, that's we were trying to give it a little bit more time to see if he was gonna get him done for the DODCAST. But once it got to this point, I was like, we better just get this out.
I'll just throw my stats together on the fly here.
I pull my stats out of my ass. So whoever's got the best stats, let it be known. It's because of me today.
And lastly, we've got our community scuttlebutt, rumor mill, coffee room, chatter, if you will. Quite a few mix-ups here. Debo has decided he can't cut it in gold, so he's going to head on down to silver.
He did,
which is pretty funny.
He did. I believe in my chat says the specific phrasing was that only Thunder would ever let him play on a not New York server, and he can't play with whatever fucking ping difference it is, so that means gold isn't for him. So he ends up on Fuckboys, that makes that team even, very formidable with the Debo and Gall pairing like that as their two big guns.
Yeah, I think, the trick there is if you're in silver and you're playing them in your home team, you just play New York.
Problem solved. New York.
I mean, you still got Gall to worry about.
Yeah,
but,
he is also West Coast.
Well, he seems fine dropping mad bombs from West Coast, so I don't get that. I mean,
he does not make excuses for the New York.
The New York complaining is just insane. Like, the new rules that are in place are to prevent like stacking East Coast servers as home team. Like the new roles are very reminiscent to what it was back in the day in Cal, and even back then it was even more extreme. Where like even if you were home team and were a West Coast team, you would only get one half on your server.
Yeah,
and then you'd still have to go back and play the other half on New York. So the new rules are even more favorable for West Coast players. Yeah, right? I don't get it. People sandbagging in silver is just sad, but you know, that's always going to happen. Thing. That's a whole other thing, and it's always going to happen.
It's inevitable.
So,
you know, as long as there's not too many of them on any one team, like, because to me, you know, I'm like, whatever. I don't have to play against anybody down there, obviously. But for the silver teams that are like very clearly silver teams, when they start having teams that get really stacked up with gold players, that's who I feel for.
Same, and I just think that those silver players will either be pushed away from the game or want to go down to like bronze and do that themselves, you know.
Right.
And say, oh, well, I just got shit on by like a team full of gold players. What's the point?
Exactly. And that's, you know, I guess it's one of those scenarios here with Debo to Fuckboys where, I mean, watching the Fuckboys versus Insomnia match, Fuckboys looked really, really good. Obviously, Gall was, like, as we predicted last week on Axis especially, was the huge X factor. They were winning that match up until I think it was, like 2 minutes left that Insomnia capped out twice to end up winning?
Yeah, it was a pretty quick back-to-back cap on Insomnia's end of their allied half. Pretty much Sean Alley going crazy. I know we were going to get into it in the recap.
Yeah, but, yeah, that's true. I should.
Yeah, it was pretty back and forth. Yeah, he would have definitely made a huge impact in that match.
For sure.
But I did think that the Fuckboys Heavies played pretty well in that match.
They did. Hopper looked great, especially. And he always tells me not to watch him. And then every time I watch him, he goes 2-1. So I'm on to you, fucking Hopper.
We also have SC being added to Fart Finder.
Yes.
And not to be confused with SQ.
No, or SU. Just
or
to be
SU.
Clear. So this was one that was also originally brought upon the world through my Twitch chat. Only in this case, it was just like, oh, Fart Finder are picking up another DoD All-Star, so be on the lookout for that. And at the time, I did speculate that it might be SC. I know a lot of people were thinking like something crazy like an animal or a ding or something like that, but you know, I had heard that SC was maybe back, and yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar with SC, I sure am, because in this movie here, Mr. Steel Hacker Volume 3, he's got himself, oh my god, why is it so laggy? Everything is lagging. You seeing this?
Yeah, it's a little choppy.
I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Huh. I can't even touch it.
It's edge going down on you here?
Seems like it. Well, regardless, if you want to find that movie, oh, my whole thing is kind of lagging right now because of that. That's what I get for playing a fucking DoD movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to close that. Oh. There we go. Okay, so it should be back. Yeah, anyways, Mr. Steel Hacker Volume 3. Look it up.
Check it out. That's SZ.
He's a good heavy. Actually, his first scrim with Fart Finder, I got to heavy against him on Shamil, and he was hitting some fucked up shots on me already. So especially if then Caffrey also were to come back at some point in time, that heavy team is really fucking scary.
Yeah, I don't like to hear that, and we played them this week, so not looking forward to that. Hoping he's a little rusty.
He should be still a little rusty at this point. You know, he was hitting really good shots, but he still, like, he wasn't fully back up to speed on, like, the timings and nades and stuff, so it's
are we still taking bets on if SQ's Cali, or we ruled that one out?
I think it's been ruled out.
Okay, just making sure. So the books are closed on SQ. Yeah, I did hear SQ. I've heard of him before he joined this roster, I think, so...
He's definitely in pubs. The FMJ pub, Jared and Jules said they've played against him in there. And at the same time as Cali being in there. So
well, that's definitely one place where you find legit people.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying anything against SQ or SC. I really don't know much about either of them, but I will be looking forward to hopefully seeing both of them out there this weekend.
Yeah, on Shamil.
On Shamil in the early afternoon match.
That will be, I think, a good one that I should be able to stream, I think.
Next, we have Spies looking to start. Yeah. He's currently backing up for IC HUD, has made a post that he would like to start in silver, I believe,
yes,
preferably.
I believe so.
He's scrimmed with us a few times in a backup capacity, and he's played pretty damn well. So it's always hard to have a good heavy,
Yeah.
especially a potential gold heavy.
Right.
So, yeah, if you're listening and you need a heavy, I would think about this guy. He's pretty good.
Absolutely. The heavies are harder and harder to come by these days. Obviously, there's some guys that are popping back up like SC and Riv, but Spy would be a good pickup, I think, for any silver team that needs a heavy that can fill in that role. I think that would be a good one for anybody looking.
And lastly, we have Trouble in Paradise. Kaboom is looking for a team.
Yes.
Apparently, Why So Serious is a little not serious enough, maybe? I don't know.
Might not
What's
be.
going on here?
Or too serious.
Or too serious,
I can't
depending
confirm
on
either
how
way.
you look at it. Yeah, so...
But yeah, that's another one who is a ridiculously good heavy when he's, choosing to actually play in a competitive way and not prone training and knifing each other. But, that the question is whether it is that he wants to play in a serious manner if he were to find a team, or if it's kind of like, I'm going to fuck around either way. But if he wants to play, he could be a very, very dominant heavy.
Yeah, just don't... These people that love holding down W, they get corner shot once or sound horde once or something, and it's like they just come unraveled.
End of the world, yeah.
And then they just go full tilt, troll, whatever. I don't know. He is a really good player when he's trying. I will agree with that.
Having, he hasn't been playing in KTP so much since the seasons have played out, but I know, when he's playing in drafts without practicing really much, he's still a very good heavy in the drafts. Like, every time I play against him, he's one of the top 2 fraggers on the other team. Like, very capable of still making an impact without having to scrim all the time. Just, again, a matter of if you're going to get the Kaboom that's going to be out there, trying to win, or if he's maybe going to be, clowning around a little bit. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. That is well said, Corey. And that's about it for as far as roster moves, personnel changes go, unless you had anything else.
There was a question of whether Flost is still alive. That, there was a little bit of drama, I think, with Bojanglers in the 1.3 Discord, and there's some talk of perhaps the team has died. But I have not heard anything for sure either way. So Flost, because I know you guys didn't play your washed up match, and Bullet's been trying to get a hold of you. If any of you guys can reach out to Bullet, to schedule that match, or reach out to an admin to let us know if you're not going to play or that you do intend to play, just so that we know how to handle it going forward. Because, if they're not going to play, maybe then we need to readjust the schedule or whatever, or I don't know. I have no idea what the situation would be there, but yeah, if someone can just let an admin.
Yeah, same. I did not read too much into the drama between what was going on there, mostly because why would you? But it sucks if they're done. Bo, we definitely enjoyed having you, so don't look too much into whatever happened. Especially, I hate to see teams die over dumb shit like that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
So, yeah, it is unfortunate, but if it happens, it happens.
We
usually lose one a season. So
yeah, it's inevitable. But yeah, that is all the house cleaning for the day. So now we can get into the recap of Rail Yard, and I swear to God, we're gonna try to keep this under an hour and 50 minutes today.
I really hope we can, because there was a few forfeits, there was a few no plays, so the recap should be quick.
I will keep my excessive analysis down as much as I possibly can.
And let's just get into Bronze. There was actually only one match played in Bronze.
Oh, yeah, and that was the match of the week, right?
It was the match of the week. Nice versus Romario.
Okay, let me open up the Discord with the screenshots on it.
I believe they're now being referred to as TBD and not Nice.
Yeah, that's
so
correct.
We will want to respect that going forward.
Previously known, or formerly known as Nice, of course, but I've heard that they'd like to switch their team name and tag every week, which is, I'm down. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's always fun.
Right? As long as I know what the team name is, so I don't call you guys the wrong name, I'm okay with it. So let's see here. Where is that one? This was a really, really good match, first of all. There it is. Okay. So 174 to 136 TBD over Romario, and this was so in this situation, first of all, TBD came out really, really strong on their allied side. As you can see there, they win by 66. But then Romario comes out on their allied side and are actually with, I think, 2.5 minutes left, are in the lead by 10. And all they need to do is hold middle. They don't need to cap out. They have 3 minutes left. They just need to hold mid. And if they do, they win. What happens is, at a certain point, they have the first flag, the Axis first flag, and everything else besides the Axis 2. Zaps is on the Axis first, and Berinia is in A-Hall, kind of like holding back to make sure if anything goes wrong, he can back up his teammates. But the other 4 players went rushing for the Axis 2 to try to cap out, and they all die. Ooh. And so then in that same, like, couple second span, Zaps dies at the 1, and Berinia then turns around, and right as he turns around, it turns out that, like, 4, maybe just 3 TBD players are jumping on mid from underpass. Like, they just flooded through underpass, jumped on mid. Berinia kills one of them in the back, but it doesn't break it. So they had to have had 3 or more on the cap. And then right after that, they end up capping out. So, like, it was bad enough that they got mid back. That alone was like, shit, now they could hold it out and get the ticks.
And then a cap for the road just to seal it.
Yeah, that was the real knife in the back when all was said and done. It was really just an intense match all around. Rafinha looked amazing in his first match back.
Yeah, we talked about him being a big pickup for them, and you're right. Holy shit, he was huge in this match.
He's so good.
Both halves. And they did go with the Berinia Rafinha, which I was excited to see. I think they were both rifling.
Yeah, it was those 2 and LZL. Zaps was heavying with Matt, of course.
And
no
Man was
Vanaki.
sniping.
Yeah, Man was sniping.
Yeah, no Vanaki, no Burn.
No
it's
Burn.
It's a big roster they got. They could put a lot of people out there that are pretty damn good.
What Chi said was that Burn is probably not going to play this season.
Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate because he was a fan favorite, but...
Right?
Rafinha being back is going to be huge.
That I can't wait to see more of, because just seeing him in this match, which he hadn't played a match since Season 1, and he actually top frags for his team, 2nd top frags overall, 36 with a Stas, this guy who carred before, and 33 with the Garand. All the rifles on Romario are so good. Just a really good team all around. Zaps, I know, kind of like is a role player, and he can really do anything, is really smart. Such good frag power between all the rifles, and then when you have Matt and Vanaki potentially heavying, or Vanaki can rifle too. Just really, really well-rounded team. But in the end, TBD was just a little too much for them to handle, in particular the big gun and the bronze MVP of the week, Die Life.
Continuing his massacre of bronze.
Yeah. He is now
I'm starting to think... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say both weeks.
I'm starting to think every match he top frags and they win, he's going to have to start taking, like, ×2 shots of alcohol before the match of the next match.
Just to kind of
curb him a little bit here.
Right.
Because he's on a warpath.
He is.
And at this rate, he's going to be top fragger by a mile.
If he had, 80, I think, in week 1 and 78 here, so he's basically averaging 40 kills a half at this point.
Yeah, which is nuts.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
So
this team is good. Like, I scrimmed this Romario team. Can't remember who I ranked for. Maybe it's No-Go. And they were pretty good.
They are. It's sleepers plus heavyweights, basically, taking really the best parts, I believe, of those 2 teams, for the most part. Kind of combining them together, mixing and matching, and man, they just have a couple little problems with the team play, like awareness of when they should go for mid caps, awareness of when they should be pushing for cap outs, and when they should hold. But like mechanics wise, those guys are insane.
And just like aiming, like they've always been good with their aiming. They've always been good at timings a little bit. Good. Yeah, like you said, just a few more sharpen around the edge. Just get a little sharper on some of the tactics side of the things, they'll be fine.
Right, and I look forward to seeing that. Obviously Chi was casting with me, and he has very close personal relationship to all those guys, and he's, he kind of echoed the same thing, where it's like that's kind of the one thing missing from their game right now is just sharpening up the team play. And once they do, that's when we're going to see the real, like, full sail Romario push going forward.
Yeah, I like the 6 they threw out there. I think that could be a damn fine 6 going forward.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think
just
Van Aki, if they could have Van Aki in too, would be perfect.
Van Aki was big last year. I would be surprised if he didn't get in.
Right, I think he was just missing for this match. I think he's supposed to be back next week.
And on the flip side, just to recap kind of what you said before, Die Alive, huge. Stealth continues to probably be one of the better snipers in the game at this point.
Yeah.
He's cracking damn near the top 5, I think. He's almost to the point where I'm going to say, Kevin, you need to play against some of these better skilled players.
I
want to see you playing in gold next season, probably, Kevin. At this rate, we'll see. You're just dominating a little too hard. He wasn't too crazy on allies, but he probably didn't have to be.
Allied Railroad 1 is a pain in the ass.
Lynx played really well on allies.
Did. Lynx was, especially on allies, like a lot of multi-frags, just so many. And on Axis, he actually had, I think, one like 7 kill streak with the Stas, that he was just all over the place in allied loft, in mid, on top white. An old school rifle from, playing main back in 2004 and 5, and finding his footing again, so to speak, in the present day DOD. Twist going train.
Yeah, Twist went train. I was about to say that.
Laura had a big clip.
On which half?
On Axis. I think it ended up being like a 4K with the car holding mid from lower apartments. It was definitely 3 fast on the 3 guys capping mid, where she was like the last person there. That came up hugely clutch. Like, frag total be damned. She had a cap out. It's kind of like one of those X Factor scenarios where you don't expect everybody to have 35, 40 kills.
No, definitely not.
They're role players. Like, we both have had to be role players over the years.
I mean, when someone's on, like Die Life is in this match, you just got to let them do their thing.
Exactly.
And just clean up behind them.
There will not be as many frags to go around as we would hope there would be when we're in those situations. So, like, people get really fixated on the score a lot of the time. I know I do for myself, but when it comes down to it, it's more important that you're doing those little things along the way, like stopping caps, being prepared to ninja stop a cap, ninja capping, throwing good nades, backing up your teammates and trading when they die, making good calls, things like that. So,
yeah, like she was 18 and 30 on Axis, but she had 9 caps. So she was doing something right.
Right? It just everybody loves a good KD ratio, but sometimes it's like the least important thing in the world. So
Stamp looked like he held his own too.
Heavy,
and I know he's still getting everything figured out on the heavy class right now.
He is really good.
Switches to that primary heavy.
Like his STG, I know is a little bit rough, he said, but like on his bar halves, again, I talked about this on the cast, but like I just heavied against him on Lennon, and like even though I also had like 90 kills, I don't think I killed him more than 5 times in the entire scrim. Like every time I ran into Stamp, I died. So he's getting there.
And that final score was TBD 174, formerly known as Nice, Romario 11, 136, close match.
Great match of the week right there.
Then we still haven't had Washed Up play Floss, unfortunately. It doesn't sound like that's going to happen, and We're Going to Lose was on bye. So,
unfortunate.
That's it for bronze.
Let's take a look at the silver boys here. So we can start off with No Go Jetty, I think.
Okay, let's start with No Go Jetty.
194 to 98 for No Go.
This was Jetty's first match. They did not play preseason, so
yeah.
First match in KTP League in their first season in KTP League.
Yeah.
They held their own.
They did. They looked good.
You did not?
No, I did cast.
Oh, you did cast. Okay.
Did cast it. Yeah, I actually ended up doing like 7 matches this day.
Was this the Sunday Jaggin Fest?
Yes. I didn't expect to cast this because it was originally supposed to be at the same time as another match, and then they rescheduled it. So I was like, fuck, I guess I should do this one too. But yeah, this one, so, I mean, you could see the rust with Jetty, obviously. Only a couple players that really have been playing regularly still. But you could also see the potential as well, especially in a guy like Riv, who, as you can see, 25 on Axis with STG, very good, but allies. Whew! 37
huge
and 24.
I might even argue that the 25 with the STG is even more impressive.
Right? The
Against
STG,
Spoon and Allen.
that is a tough route to go with that weapon, and he's going up against a hell of a heavy team in Spoon and Allen.
Probably the best heavy team in silver.
I think so, right?
I might say, yes. Just the way Spoon's been playing lately, and Allen is at times just as good as him.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I think coming into the season, that was kind of like the consensus was Allen and Spoon, best heavy team in silver, and then Riv and Matt had the chance to overtake them once like they get all their chemistry down and get back into the swing of things. So, little preview of that.
It's funny how in this match was kind of similar to ours, that Allied half was the easier half for both teams.
It's weird how that happens.
It is weird, and I think that's a sign of hopefully a good map.
I think so.
That it's not just Harrington Allied side is going to win by 200, and you just hope you can match that the next half.
Yeah. You see a lot of back and forth where, like, people ask in the stream, like, oh, is this Axis or Allied side? And the only answer I can really give is, like, well, sometimes it's Axis-sided, sometimes it's Allied-sided. It really seems to just depend on the fucking day of the week and what happens off the initials most of the time. It's crazy.
Looks like Matt Rogers had a few nice halves.
Yes, Matt had some movie clips in there as well, which was especially one from Lower Apartments holding mid, where he got 3 really, really fast. The third kill was with the pistol in the head. Austin looked really good. Jane 39 in the screenshots there. Rifling for no-go.
Same with Recoil.
Of course, as always, Recoil loves this map.
I think he loves this. Yeah, he does love this map, especially sniping Axis.
Oh, yeah. He's a beast up in those double windows. If he's feeling comfortable on that day, like, good luck getting him the fuck out of there.
And, Dro picked up, Bilbasad just for these types of scenarios, sending him train.
And as you can see,
letting him do the dirty work.
The thing is, too, this doesn't tell the whole story with the flag caps. He actually ninja'd twice on Axis side, and that is, in the end, the difference.
Yeah, wow.
It's not exactly the difference, but it's within, like, 10 points without those 2 ninja caps, so Caleb proving his worth as the train car player yet again. A lot of
Axis caps, wow.
Yeah, this was a really, really intense match. I can tell you, too, with Ian, played this match, he had his setup all fucked up. He had V-Sync on, max FPS 60, playing with speakers, like he was
got 18 kills with it on Axis. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, you were playing like that and you still managed to break 10? Like, that on its own is an impressive feat to me. Of course, Saf is always a very, very reliable player going the routes that she goes. It's just always an unsung hero of doing the dirty routes, playing the third rifle role as well as anyone is gonna. And then John Gall and Steve, two old heads in the game. Steve has only just started to really play again. John got a season in with Thunder and then didn't really play for however long the second season lasted. And you can see those moments, that glean of greatness a few times with them on both halves.
Yeah, I think they're both going to get it back slowly. Probably John quicker than Steve at the current rate. But Steve's going to be fine. He's rifling right now.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up sniping at some point just because he is a natural sniper.
For sure. Sniper is his class.
He's always been a good rifle. He's rifled at lands before and won a land as a rifle, I'm pretty sure.
I always saw him as as a sniper first, but then I thought that his value was as a rifle, mostly as a third rifle. I feel like him, when he's on with the Stas, can do things in a way that like Tox does with the brain, the way he plays with.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very intelligent player with rotates and with taking like different routes to find openings. You could see it on his Axis side here with the car. But I think, especially early on when you're trying to get all your mechanics back, with the Stas, you have a little more forgiveness if you miss that first shot, Yeah,
I'm with you. And I think, is he thirding? I believe he's main rifling right
He's
now.
main rifling, yeah.
And they're kind of rotating the third around a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. So who knows will be on it this week.
I think if Frank Calise plays, he'll third, because I know that was what he did on Jetty, like at lands back in the day, especially.
Well, we'll have to keep track of that and keep an eye on Jetty going forward. But that was No-Go beating Jetty 194-98 and a pretty decisive victory overall as No-Go tries to stamp their mark here on silver, saying they're the team to beat.
They do. They are continuing, and they are going to have some competition on that front, as we'll see in these next two matches here.
Yeah, let's just keep moving. Let's do Fuckboys Insomniac next.
So this one, 365 to 251, Insomniac Gamers over Fuckboys. I got to cast the first half of this, and then there was technical issues, so this
what a shit show.
Yeah. To get everyone fully up to date, somehow the config got messed up, which we have no idea how, because the configs were uploaded straight from the Thunder server, where all the configs were uploaded from. So no clue how, just two configs got screwed up. But what happened is...
I blame J-Rod.
J-Rod feels bad about it, but I'm like, dude,
It definitely wasn't J-Rod's fault.
No, it wasn't J-Rod's fault. Something weird happened along the way, and that's, he definitely didn't fuck up in the way that he's thinking he fucked up, but the way that it went down is on the team that was allies was getting an extra point or two just for like their flags. So
very similar to the old Linen fuck up configs.
Only it was even I think it was even one step further than that, where
it was like ticking while running out of spawn, right?
Yeah.
Like you were both teams getting a point before anyone had even capped the first.
Yeah, and
shit like that was going on.
It was so weird. And I didn't notice it just looking at the scoreboard at first until 9 said something I think the config's wrong. And then so at the time, Insomnia had capped twice and had mid for. I mean, Fuckboys had mid a little bit, but it really was not that much. And then you look at the score, and it's they're only down by a cap and a half, even though they've had full control over themselves and 2 full caps given up. There's something wrong here. So they were just ticking points in a situation where you should not be gaining points.
The real score should have been 100 to 10.
Basically.
Or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they essentially got 90 free points.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the other team only got another 60, which is crazy.
Yeah, and then they were gonna switch to the real config for the second half, but that would have caused an even bigger problem, so they just went back to the old config. That way, at least the scoring would be consistent all the way through. So, here it ended up fucked up again, but I think Gandhi figured it out.
I think they did the only option they had in that moment, which was just play with the fucked up config for both halves, take the L from an administrative standpoint, which again was no one's fault specifically. It just happened.
Exactly.
And because going through the demo and trying to rescore it, that's fine and all, but at that point, I think people just wanted to get the fucking match over with and get out of there. And that halftime was very long. So
I ended up leaving.
I would not have been thrilled waiting for that.
No.
And I understand completely that they just went ahead and played the second half on the fucked up config. That's totally understandable. As far as the actual match goes, it was pretty wild.
Yeah. Hopper,
like we mentioned earlier.
This was if I looked, obviously Clinic versus Lads on Tour was a crazy match too, but as far as explosive, movie level stuff, this was the craziest match.
There were some big streaks by players on both teams.
Yeah.
Especially Sean Allity and Gall.
Yeah.
You mentioned Hopper Illusion had a few streaks on Axis. Hopper had some insane streaks on both halves. Just coming out of nowhere for a triple kill.
Yeah. He was
I didn't get to see all of it, unfortunately.
No,
because I did have to go play my fucking match. But what I did watch the first half, I believe Insomnia was on Axis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Was Sean just running a 4-way and killing 3 every time.
Oh yeah.
Just constantly.
He was it was a guaranteed 3, and then a lot of the time he was getting at least 2 more. At one point I was I think he just aced, and then he got 2 or 3 more kills on top of that. It was nuts.
His rise in such a short time has been pretty impressive. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on him. You mentioned Illusion, who had a really strong Axis half. Not a strong Allied, obviously.
No, Allied did not go as well going against
Gall put him in the Gall chamber, if you will, and just kept him locked up. But still, he did what he was supposed to do, which was go crazy on Axis with the car.
He had a cap out single-handedly where he pushed Blue Room and just killed 5 in a row, in the spawn, off the spawn, just shitting all over him on elbow peaks. Gandhi, actually really good game on the heavy.
Especially on the STG.
Yeah,
29, 25 on Axis. Like we say, if you break 25 with an STG on Axis, you could pretty much pat yourself on the back.
Exactly.
If you're going apartments.
That's a great half. And doing it against a bar that is dropping bombs and Hopper there too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and that is impressive.
I think Hips really found himself on this team sniping. Probably been wanting to snipe this whole KTP career.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hasn't really been able to.
Stuck heavy in a lot of the time.
Stuck heavy and stuck having to pull out the carbine sometimes.
Right.
I guess that was Element.
Great.
But yeah, he looks great sniping. 9 played well.
32
doing
on
9
allies.
things. H-Sluggo and Train held it down.
Right. Of course, Train players always the least appreciated of everybody. End up with the low scores and stuff, but
they just look like they're shitting the bed, but in reality, they're just staring at that one spot. And the other guys on the other end staring at that same spot.
It's
what a route.
Riveting frustrating route.
But at least we get to play it twice this season.
True.
You know,
True.
If you didn't get enough week 1, don't worry. Sit tight.
It's coming back, baby.
It's coming back to end the season.
But yeah, this was just a really fun match to watch. I wish I had got to see in the second half. Obviously, the gold match of the week ended up taking precedent with that delay, but both these teams look great. And now Fuckboys is adding Debo to that. You know, I don't know who comes out of this. But, you know, they have a lot of good players to choose from now, and I think that their lineup is going to end up being one to contend with going forward.
Yeah, I think Big Bird played well in this match, too. I would not bench Big Bird personally.
He looked great.
For 2 reasons. He's getting better, and he's active.
Very active.
Those 2 things just can only mean he's going to be better by the end of the year.
Right.
Or end of the season. I keep saying here.
And Reptar keeps showing improvements.
Yeah, Reptar's... He's doing his thing. He's always had a good shot. He's just, you know, got to stay calm and
he's
just keep playing his game.
It's the source player. The consistency across the source players are that they're all like me, where they rage nonstop.
Well, source will do that to you.
Yes, it's just a fact of life. If you've played source, you're used to the game fucking you in the face a lot of the time. So when this game fucks you in the face, it's extra painful. And DB getting to snipe finally after having to play off class for years and years, looking so much better.
Looking like he's having a great time.
Yeah, right. Oh man, when you go from being a sniper who has to heavy like every time you play in a league, and then finally you get the sniper rifle back, you feel like you're in heaven.
Last person, Joshinator.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure who that is. But...
He's an old player, like from 38th, I believe, was one of the teams he was on.
Well, he played
I hadn't seen him till now.
Yeah, I mean, he held his own against one of the better rifle teams. Assuming he was rifling.
I think he was heavying.
Okay, he's the second heavy. That makes more sense.
I believe so, yeah, because Gall...
Big Bird's thirding.
Yeah.
Reptar had a car, I think.
I think so. I wasn't there for that half, obviously, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
But yeah, just to come back to Gall's Axis half real quick, I just want to harp on that a little bit. 41 and 27, 14 caps. That is just trying to put the team on your back there. I mean, you can't even say he wasn't trying to get caps and he was just frag whoring. He was literally doing everything.
Truly.
So, again, one of the better initials we've seen on this map. I really hope we get it in the frag of the week. You guys, Gall, you've got to get that demo in.
You do. Seriously.
Insane streak. It was like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes in, second half, huge streak. I mean, he had Illusion on ice skates. Illusion pulled out of a pure nosedive this half. He was probably like 10 and 18 at one point or something.
So, yeah.
Really, really bad KD. And he really pulled it out. He might have to do a little proning to get there, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly, you do.
Especially when Gall's hitting shots like that, because you're not just going to come out blue and beat that guy. He's just gonna wreck you.
That's where you start to feel like there's just nothing you can do. Like, maybe I should switch routes with somebody, but Illusion stuck with it, brought the score back, got a couple of cap outs in there too, holding on to the second flag. Showed the veteran composure there.
And Insomnia was, like we said, they were pretty much on their heels for 15 minutes of the second half.
They were?
Really, that last 5 minutes, they got 2 caps in and turned this thing around completely.
Yeah, if not for that, it was Fuckboy's game to win there.
So, yeah, pretty good game there. Both those teams fought hard. Final score, again, was Insomniac 365, Fuckboys 251.
Great game to both.
And that brings us to our match of the week in silver, I believe, is what we called.
Oh, yeah.
Did we pick this match of the week?
It was. It had to be.
Clinic versus Lads on Tour, and it lived up to the hype.
Big time.
And I do want to go on record and remind everyone that I did pick Clinic in the 11th hour.
I do believe so. I think I turned you around on
Candyman,
that.
Tom, just want to make sure that's clear. I tried to pick Lads on Tour, and you talked me out of it. That's why you're here.
I did.
I'm counting this as a W for Tone on the picks. But seriously, what a match.
So close.
Just 37 kills for Milo on Axis.
Casual 37.
Did exactly what we said he would do.
Yeah.
Which is just run the carnival wheel around apartments to blue room, back into apartments, out the long windows, back to blue room. Might go underpass once here. He's a speed racer when it comes to that. When he gets pushed up, good luck.
You'll never find him until
you won't find him, and he always picks a different spot, so you never know where he's going to be. Just an annoying ass player to play against. Very good player in Milo. Not surprised he dominated on Axis. I think this is actually one of the few heavies is better on Axis than Allies. I haven't even looked at his Allied score, but I'm going to look right now.
31 and 23.
There you go.
So good still.
Still good, but I mean, that Axis half was insane.
You see him put up a lot of those high score Axis halves. It's nuts.
He does. He just gets it done. Once he gets a bar from the other allies, he just takes over the route.
Yep.
And he wasn't alone on Axis. Looks like Lou had a huge half. Man, we're 35. Just nailing it so far. We said he was having a breakout year this season, and what do you know?
We're all over
35 on Axis with the car.
We know our DOD.
Now, we did say, and I'm going to look now, his Grand needed to be stepped up.
Let's see.
How'd he do with the Grand?
20 and 24, so not bad.
I mean, it's tough. It's not easy out there.
I think he was
especially
going
with
long.
the rifles of Clinic. Yeah, he probably was going long.
Yeah. Which is just, I mean, getting out of blue room is a fucking nightmare in general.
Well, it looks like they played Allies first, Lads on Tour.
I believe so, yeah. Cage had a great game in Railcar over there, and Yanni, of course. Big
Finally
JN,
sniping.
Top fragger on Allies.
I'm sure he's just loving sniping.
Right.
God, he's waited so long for this, and
finally.
It does warm my heart that he's getting the shot.
Finally.
So willful, so muchly deserved.
For sure.
I don't think muchly's a word, but
I'm going with it.
Staying on with Lads here for a sec. Timo.
62.
Steady old Timo as always.
Doing Timo things. You know, he'll be Mr. Consistent for this team. Just straight as an arrow performance-wise all the time. You know what to expect from him, and he'll deliver on that. Always have good nades, always in good position, making good calls, staying composed. And, yeah, I mean, he did everything he could as that four-way rifle to bring Lads on Tour back here.
I'm sure Chi is still getting used to Milo's play style. I can only imagine having with Milo. You're going in the route, and he's bumfuck Egypt doing his thing, and there's three opponents in front of you, and you're just kind of wondering when's the last time Milo rolled through here.
Yeah.
But, that's just part of the job of playing with a player like that. You got to kind of fill in behind him just let them do their thing.
You're like your support guy at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Chi, I know that feeling. You still held your own. Let's see here. I do want to look at the Axis side of Clinic now because they did frag out pretty hard.
So Clinic, it was interesting. Performance-wise, they had about as much of a team effort as you can get. Carpenter top frag.
God damn Carp. What a beast.
Carp is the man.
He's
look at the rest of them. It's just like even.
Yeah, I mean, Mirsan, I don't know if he's rifling or heavy in this season. I'm assuming he's heavy, but that's another great Axis half right there.
28 and 19 with an STG in apartments. Going up against Milo and Chi, like that's not an easy ask, and he had a great half.
And I'm sure Candy was just putting the train pressure on the whole fucking match. He's just holding down W through train. That's what he does best.
Candy and train is a goddamn thorn in everybody's side. He just plays it so well. He knows all the angles, knows all the timings. It's ridiculous.
And yeah, it looks like they win the Axis half by a cap, so they played pretty well on Axis overall, with even with Timo and Milo on probably their preferred weapons here. I don't know. I think Timo might prefer car, but I always thought he was really good Grand as well.
He is. I think I'd rather play against him with when he has a car, just because if he misses, I can take advantage of that.
Who is Tommy Lad?
That's Cage.
Okay, that makes sense then.
He was trained
and he's rifling
and looked great on Allied side.
He went train on Allies?
Yeah.
So where did okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
He
Chi
did look
was
good
in
on
apps
train.
there.
Okay, let's pull up the second half. Yeah,
As you can see, I do
more of the
believe he was
same.
trained this half as well, 20 and 14.
Carp again,
Top fragger.
top fragging with the sniper. Suave came up the big this half.
Stark had a good ally half. The might not be positive, but you're dealing with Milo there, so
Yeah, I mean they were hunting Milo and trying to clear out apps a lot.
yeah.
I'm sure this half, and that is not a fun thing. Getting pushed back on allies is and having to go down the drop spawn is always just like 3 deaths
Oh
guaranteed
yeah.
till you get it cleared back. It's a pain in the ass.
I
It's not a
think
fun thing to do.
I'd say like the story really of this game is just Clinic showing once again that they are like a perfect team. You know,
Yeah, they
like
know each other's
yeah,
tendencies. Like they play off each other really well. They know to just let Carp cook, let him do his thing. You got to let Suave and Mersan do their things. I think Stark's played with them forever, so he could just
yeah.
plug and play.
No
Tom's
Insom,
obviously,
obviously.
yeah, no Insight. I guess Insom's gone,
Yeah,
so they probably won't have him much this season, if at
yeah.
all.
Which is
Huge
tough.
loss,
Yeah.
but
That's
still,
their
I mean,
star player. Him and Carp are kind of like the guys that are always putting up the biggest frag totals, at least.
Clinic is going to be a hard matchup for any team in Silver this season,
Always. There's
and
just like they're
it's
gonna
hard not to
have.
predict them to win.
Yeah. I mean, like I can't see a matchup, barring some crazy shit going on. I'll probably pick them in every matchup. Honestly, like it's just they are a team. You look at what teams that try to form, and it's like we need to get the best players all around, guys who are going to get 50 kills every half. No, you need a team, and Clinic is what embodies that. I'd say over any team that there is in DoD right now, where they they got out fragged. They didn't really have anybody like go off and get 45 and 10 or anything like that, and they still win the game because everything that they're doing as a unit is so perfect. They are backing each other up. They're throwing the right nades. They're making good calls. They're coordinating cap out situations. They're never out of position. They're covering up for each other when someone is taking a push somewhere outside their route. They're not overextending. Like they really do embody what a team effort is in DoD.
It's
And
like
that's
the
how they went
opposite.
undefeated.
It's like the opposite of a draft.
Yes.
That getting no name and like Jules is going to get you maybe to the finals of that
Right.
tournament, but it might not win it. You're still going to need players that can fill in behind it.
That's the
And
key.
they don't even have a Milo S player on the roster, in my opinion, that can
Nope.
just go off for. I mean, they have people that can go off for 40. Don't get me wrong, but someone that's going to be a threat every night to do it. Maybe
Right.
Carp is in that category now, but
He's
even
definitely
so,
up there.
it's the teamwork that pulls him through in this map. And this is a big teamwork map. It can
Yep.
feel like a frag heavy map as you're dominating on Axis, but it can also turn around in 1 minute and you're at your first.
Exactly.
And you got to know how to come out of those situations without being capped out on.
Right. That's where it gets tough. That's where the team play really shines through is when your back's against the wall or when you have the other team's back against the wall. Because it's very easy to just get team wiped when you push for a cap out.
And they lost this half by 30 frags.
Yeah.
So they were well on pushed back multiple times this half, and they
Yep.
still came out on top and did not get capped out on it. Looks like
They played good defense on all the flags. They were getting pushed down a lot. I believe it was mostly their second flag as the last flag because Milo was just locking down the drop spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they never panicked. They stayed composed. Carp kept watching connector. They had a guy ready outside a train, 2 guys watching the ticket at all times. They were getting their nades all the way out of connector, trying to inch their way through ticket, trying to coordinate pushes through train to get the other one to hold that. It was really just perfect DoD team-wise there. And yeah, just even without Insom, the guy who was typically their top fragger, they prove that playing together for 20 years or whatever now still reigns supreme.
Yeah, just like I said, knowing each other's tendencies, knowing spacing with each other, knowing when someone's going to go rover and like covering for them. That shit is so important. And like overcoming 3 people dropping 34 frags or more on the Axis team is pretty impressive. Only
Right.
losing that half by 30, 29.
Crazy.
Pretty impressive.
So
Pretty
crazy.
impressive. So big win, but for Clinic, very close match. Lived up to the hype. Looking forward to see what they do this season. That does finish silver, and I do want to retroactively give our MVPs out. I think you did mention Die Life, didn't you?
Die Life for bronze. Yep.
And Silver, I think you went up with Sean Allity.
Yes.
69 kills, which is hard
69.
to not give at that point. You hit
Right, you got
69, you automatically get it.
He was just so good. Even on their allied side, I didn't see the actual demo, but watching Illusion's stream of it, I saw a lot of Sean just filling up the death notice as they push to try to cap out. So
yeah, so Sean, grats on MVP this week from the DODCAST for Silver. And again, that final score in the clinic, Lads on Tour, was Clinic 101, Lads on Tour 77.
such a good game, and good game to Lads on Tour too. I do still say that those are the two big teams in Silver right now. So
yeah,
now,
that could have been your finals preview.
Yeah, like I think that getting that out of the way now, they don't have to worry about each other again. They play out the rest of their season and can kind of pay attention to one another and what their tendencies are on certain maps maybe, and get ready for a potential finals head-to-head. Obviously, there's like 5 teams in Silver that could easily beat each other, but I think right now I'd say those two, as things stand at this moment, would be my picks for the finals.
Yeah, I think Silver is, I won't say it's wide open, but it's very competitive. And the fact that Jetty might be the weakest team says a lot.
That's crazy. That's a team that, obviously they're all fresh back in the game, most of them. But
And that's not a knock on them. That's
No.
just the rankings here.
Yeah.
And like they're still very they could beat any of these teams.
Oh, absolutely. Especially give them, another few weeks of scrimming regularly and everything. Especially like a guy like Riv, who once he's back in the swing of things is going to be like a Milo type heavy, only without like the really crazy over aggression.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Jetty.
I can't wait to see that team when they've gotten all their sea legs back under them. Steve, John, Kellen. Matt obviously has been playing and he's doing his roles. He can play any class. Like I think that team, if a team plays them in the first 3 weeks and beats them and thinks like, oh, we'll be able to take them in playoffs, they're going to be sorely mistaken when playoffs come.
Yeah, they're going to be an upset match in playoffs for sure. They just got to get it figured out during the season, and I think they will.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Steve and John they've got the minds to make it happen.
They are committed.
But let's go ahead and get on to gold.
Oh yeah.
And first match I wanted to talk about was Fart Finder versus Rat Pack. Fart Hinder.
Good old Fart Finder or
Fart Finding. Let's see, where is that? There it is.
184 to 79 in favor of Rat Pack.
Yeah, Rat Pack kind of came out flying in this one, I thought.
They did. They looked great.
They had a very solid first half on Allies where they won the half. Huge half by Devin, who has been heavying.
He had a crazy clip on balcony, just like
I saw like a triple snap.
Yeah, spinning in a circle almost. Nuts.
That was a big one, and that one will need to be in the frag of the week, Devin. So if you guys watch this, tell Devin to get that bad boy uploaded. Because that was a nice clip.
Great allied half sniping for Arachnid there, and PBE, of course, coming up big.
And it looks like PBE did end up rifling. I heard rumors he was going to heavy this season. But
I thought so, but it looks like in the end they ended up, once they got Grant and no longer had Debo, Devin took over. I think that they'll probably be swapping classes between a few guys throughout the season based on the map.
Yeah, I do like this roster that they rolled out. I think this could be a solid starting 6 for them.
Absolutely.
Grant and Devin have complementing play styles, as I always like to say.
They do.
Grant can get extra ratty when he needs to, but he's also a good pusher, while Devin is just full on all gas, no brakes most of the time. But Devin's also smart. Like we saw, he put himself in a good spot to get that triple kill in the match. It was just a great off angle that had easy snap, not too much mouse movement to all 3 spots. So, kudos to him. Well played there. CK going train did his thing, which is, hard hold down W. I'm going to the first. Here's a few nades for you. Unless Raven would train. Maybe Raven did train.
I think Raven might have gone train both halves, and CK
that makes sense. CK has a lot of deaths for train.
He was like in apartments, then he was kind of just running all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, he's just doing CK things, so...
Wow, PB.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had 32 deaths going train, but that would have been a little alarming for me.
If anyone could do it, it's CK.
Sokka had 42 deaths, and he had some crazy streaks first half on Axis, too.
Yes, he did. He was going off.
But damn, that's a lot of deaths, Sokka.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have guessed that score based on like just what I was watching with him, but I guess all the kills he got happened in streaks.
Yeah, it was a lot of cleanup kills. Like his team's mostly dead, and then he kills 4 or something like that.
Right.
Which nothing wrong with that. It's just how it happened. Nightmare's
36
back.
and 20.
Huge half on Axis. My God.
31 and 20. So just a casual 67 and 40. Just typical Nightmare things.
Yeah, that's looking like literally like typical last season.
Yeah.
Nightmare drops 36 and the rest of his team struggling to break like 23, but
right. They ran
it's just Nightmare things,
That's true too. The sniper can always shine no matter what's going on around them.
Pretty
really.
much, yeah.
Rat Pack they have a lot of frag power, like having Grant and a Raven, guys who can role play properly, like that really, I think, brings the team full circle and makes it so that they are more of a unit than just like we're all, we have guys who can run around and get frags. Great sniper and Arachnid too. Found out immediately in week 1 how much of a pain it is to snipe against Nightmare all the time, though.
Yeah, it's just not a matchup you look forward to.
No.
Because he dominates it. And
it's so frustrating because for whatever reason, he can slow peek and you can get the first shot off. And it's not like you shot at the same time. Like, no, you get the first shot off and then you die like a second later.
And you didn't hit him.
Yeah, and you didn't hit him. Like, dead center mass, but just that, I don't know if it's just that 104 ping, but you'll get the first shot off. You assume he's dead, but he's not dead. It didn't hit him, and then you're dead. It's so frustrating.
He's really... It's hard to even describe his play style, even having seen him ring for Thunder a few times.
Yeah.
Like, he's just really knowledgeable of when to push, when to hold, when to relocate, and he's always in an angle you don't expect him to be in.
Yeah.
When you think you've got like a clear path somewhere, he's just there holding a weird spot that you're never going to hit a shot on him from in that spot. So you're dead.
Pre-scoping the right angles too.
He's really... Him and Patton are just kind of on another level at times.
Yeah.
You too, of course. That goes without saying. But without being biased, I think he might be the best sniper in the game.
I'd say so. Yeah, I think that's probably what most people would agree with.
But yeah, huge. Arachnid though held his own.
He did
against a monster, which is Nightmare.
I think Arachnid will have no problem in gold this season. If he can hold his own this well against Nightmare on this map, I think he's going to be just fine against everybody else. So
yeah, and again, shout out to both heavies on Rat Pack breaking the 25 Axis kills benchmark. Devin went for 32 and 31, just basically killing someone every time he saw him, even if you got naded or something.
Steamrolling through.
Pretty much. CK, huge Axis half, almost hit the 40 mark. On kills, 8 flags as well. Same for PB. Both dominated with cars. Yeah, like you said, this Rat Pack team is full of fraggers, and
they're flying under the radar right now. But
that's probably where they want to be. So
right, I think that team could beat anybody.
Yeah, I think Rat Pack is a sneaky team
for sure, and obviously. Fart Finder now, having picked up another good heavy here. I'm not sure who comes out of this lineup. Their rifle team, having Kum back on the rifle full-time is a net win for that team. He is a rifle.
Oh, I agree completely.
Right?
He's deserved it, too. He's grinded out 2 seasons as heavy when he didn't want to.
He has.
So, well-earned here, Kum.
It's rough, man, but now he gets the rifle back. Sokka always can go off on any map, on any route. Scotty is a third. I'm not sure if that's the plan overall, if they're going to have him car on some maps, go back and forth or what. But those 3 rifles as a team is a really strong rifle team. And now they've added
Mata and Manor. I assume Mata's the odd man out here, right?
I would think so, just because, he's a sniper and they have Nightmare. But I don't know.
I don't either. They have some clashing when it comes to classes that they'll have to figure out.
I don't know if maybe like some guys can't show up every week, so maybe they already, they are having a 7-man rotation kind of thing.
They'll probably do a roto, I'm guessing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Scotty's teams have always had some type of rotation a lot of times until playoffs get around and then they set a solid 6.
The question is, what happens if Caffrey comes back then, right?
Well, I mean, if Caffrey comes back, he gets a spot. You don't want to bench Caffrey.
No. He's so good. He's a guy who is like a difference maker.
And Caffrey Manor feels like a good heavy team.
Right?
That just feels like
good mix.
A good mix, a good balance, like we like to say, good complementing play styles.
Exactly.
And Manor is so good on the important maps, like, Anzio, which is an important playoff map.
Right,
But Manor is good in the maps that are in the playoffs. Like, I've always thought he held his own on Anzio, he held his own on Harrington holds his own on railroad
Shamil.
maps. Shamil. So, yeah, I think if Caffrey comes back, they're going to be huge.
I would love to see that potential lineup play out, but I guess we don't know. We'll see if anybody has an update on that. Obviously, keep us posted. Moving
lastly,
on forward.
Sokka. I did want to mention Sokka's big 36 on Allies.
Oh, yeah.
Big half on Allies by Sokka. That was the last thing I want to mention on this map.
I was looking at it and I didn't say anything. And
All right.
Kumkum. 24 and 22
Yeah.
and a half that they got, well, I guess not too badly out Frag, but
I mean, going against CK and PB, I think and Devin flying around, I think you'll take
absolutely.
24 and 22.
Okay.
Yeah, that final score again, 184 to 79.
Yeah.
Rat Pack over Fart Hunt Hinder.
Really, really fun game to watch. Good game to both teams. You know, Fart Finder just need to continue to work. I mean, they're not a team that's played together for long now. They just kind of formed together out of the corpses of two previous teams, and they're still figuring it out. I think once they get the roster really locked in and everybody playing the classes they want to be playing, they have a lot of potential for upsets against anybody. But the players they have that can go off, Nightmare as that backbone, always going to be like 1.8 to 1 with, 60 kills, directing traffic. Kumkum, Sokka, and Scotty on the rifles, explosive, and then some combo of Manor, SC, Mata, and Caffrey, whatever, 2 based on the map, based on who could be there. That team could be really, really good if they can get that all figured out.
I'm in full agreement with you there. And speaking of fun matches to watch, that's a great segue into our next matchup. Yes. Thunder versus Why So Serious.
So I don't want to spend too much time talking about this because we've been talking about, it's just like the whole Discord and the 1.3 Discord has been all about this whole situation lately. Here's what I'll say. Okay, so that's the Axis half.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
This was first half.
That was second half.
Oh, that's second half.
This is second half. This is first half. Take a look at that. Basically, we win by a cap. They out-frag us, right? Mm-hmm. Look at their lineup. So this isn't even their actual 6. As you can see, you have
Moosh hasn't played in a year.
Yeah. He's playing Train here, going 9 and 17, whatever. Like, he hasn't played much. I don't think Johnny has gotten to play much either. I think normally you'd see Element and Paul Kuhn here.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to lose this match during
they had an Element, I believe. Oh, no, they didn't. That's, sorry. That's Kaboom.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, no Element, no Paul, and they only barely lose by, like a cap and plus 5 points, whatever. And we were genuinely concerned that we were about to lose this match the whole time. Like, it was very scary, very problematic. They don't have their starting 6. Very close. Heading into the Axis half, it's like, okay, what are they going to do? Are they going to continue to play seriously? Or are they going to go into troll mode? And they went into troll mode.
Yeah, it looks like Kaboom went full autist and started proning everywhere from what I could tell. And
he was lagging out, I guess, was what they kept saying. Like, he was... I know at one point, like, we killed 5 out of 6 and no one could find the 6th guy, and then he disconnected. So I think he lagged out in spawn or something. I don't know. Well, I didn't really watch the HLTV.
I guess it's fun they put a half together. That's a half more than they put it together in preseason.
That's true.
So that's, they're making progress.
And, I'm not going to even get into, like, who did what and all that shit. Just what I'm going to say is the whole issue here. I get that they want to play in bronze or silver and just steamroll teams, but that is not fair to bronze and silver players because this is a gold team. Don't be fooled by we tried our hardest and we got blown out. That's not what happened. They tried their hardest and it was a very close half. On a map that all day long we were watching matches that were Allied sided on this map. And then they came out, and I don't know if it was immediately in the second half that they started fucking around, or if it was like after a couple minutes or what. But, it's not fair to bronze and silver players to put a gold team down there with them just because the gold team doesn't want to try. It's just not fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I'm not going to get too much into it either.
Yeah.
I've pretty much said my piece last week, so
Right. I mean,
all I'm going to say is hopefully they do better next week.
Yeah. I know I keep going on and on about it. It's just, I get that the choice basically comes down to, do we waste the gold players' time with the troll stuff, or do we ruin DOD for a bronze or silver team that should be getting to play against bronze and silver players? I'd rather that we're the ones who get trolled and our time wasted than, because the gold teams are going to stick around no matter what. The bronze and silver teams are not.
I guess gold players are probably more accustomed to seeing this behavior.
Yeah. We've all been around forever. You know, we get it. But, like, that's just to once again give my perspective on the whole thing. I get how pissed off they are. I understand that they didn't want to play gold, but you can't tell me that that's not a gold team, even with two not starters playing. And it was a very scary first half. Like, I genuinely was freaking out. Like, after all this shit, we're going to lose to this team.
I watched a little first half and I was like, is Thunder throwing? What's going on here?
Right. And it was so scary. Like, it
was like you guys were losing for a while.
Yeah.
And then I think like you got a quick cap out, and that was honestly the only real push you had was that cap out. Other than that, they were just full apps control, just your standard allied bullshit where you can't get into apps, and the other side of the map is trying to wipe the ass. And yeah, that's just what it looked like first half. And I thought, holy shit, if Thunder loses this, it's going to be a fucking DODCAST of the year.
It was scary.
Yeah, it looks like Axis half, they switched modes. And, I will say that the roster they rolled out is probably not a gold roster in this particular match. And granted, Booten and Jay Lynch are probably holding back some. And obviously, Kaboom is, he was trying a little first half.
I don't think they were holding back at all on their first half. They were.
No, I don't. That's what I was saying. He was trying first half, but like, clearly second half they were like, whatever. You guys capped on him quick, and it just went to shit. But like you said, we're not going to get into that. I think everyone's aware of that situation, and big close match, 390 to 43. That's Thunder over Why So Serious. So looking forward to next week's showdown with T3 and Why So Serious on Shamil.
Yeah, that actually already happened. But we'll talk about that next week. Yeah, it did. It already happened.
God, I can't believe that already. I can't wait. I don't see the scores.
Just to, clear the air on everything, since I know that was a huge topic of discussion in the 1.3 Discord, just to explain my perspective on it, that, like, just because you don't want to try... It's like Kevin, Stealth, and Dillard both make good points. If Thunder just decided we're going to play off class for a whole season... Do you think anybody would be okay with us playing in bronze or silver? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. Like, imagine Talks trying to get into silver.
Yeah. It's
Jesus,
goal. It's a gold team.
The riots would be non-ending. It would be amazing, actually, to see. I almost wish you would try it, but yeah. No, and again, that's all I got to say about that. So, moving on to our gold match of the week. Icy Hot versus T3.
This was a big one. Now, 152 to 79. Icy Hot takes out the Season 1 champs.
Season 2 runner-up.
That was, in Season 2 runner-up. This was a crazy, crazy, crazy match here. Coming out first half, T3 gets out to an early lead by 3 points. It's looking real tight.
Yeah, we did have that early cap out, which I thought set the tone in like the first minute 30.
Without that cap out, it might be a different game, in all honesty.
It would have been much closer. I don't think it would have been the dagger, but it was definitely what we needed to just cool them off on allies. They basically were playing catch up the rest of the allied half, which is what we wanted, because I had PDX coming at me through train, so like I'm screaming the whole half. Like, this is fucked. Like, I can't do this. Where's my rifle support? It's, Vertex isn't Talks, so, he's not just sitting in train for me like I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I will say, we were planning on playing this without Vertex. Like, we scrimmed before this match without Vertex. And we were just like, well, we'll see you next week, we weren't, like, throwing in the towel, but it was... I was a little spooked, because I had practiced train all week, and then I get, an hour before match, oh, by the way, you're heavy in.
Whoops.
So, wasn't quite ready for that, but thankfully he was able to show up and play. And obviously I know we're talking about first half, but I think he might have had the best allied half in KTP history. And I know I'm biased because it's my teammate, but he had 46 kills, 23 deaths against.
He is the MVP of the week, by the way.
Yeah, he is the gold MVP. I don't think there's any doubt in
No.
what he did. He was going against No Name, Leo, PDX, and like HXC running down Balk the whole time. And the man just done. I think every nade he threw got a kill. It's real, just insane nader. Obviously, everyone knows he's a god with the Gran. And yeah, he would just swing out mid and just headshot 2 people with 2 bullets like constantly. Just one of the strongest performances I've ever seen on Allied half of Railroad 1, of this new Railroad.
Just domination. Sick also had a great game. 60 overall. He looked amazing on Axis half.
He did. He had a huge run. It actually led to the cap out early. It was his whole initial. I think he had like a 6-0 start.
Yep.
Maybe 7-0.
I think it might have got up to 7.
He just rolled out Balk, got 2 quick kills, went into apps, had an insane flick shot on No Name. Then he flew down lower, killed the guy connector, ran up apartment steps and pistoled HXC, who was doing circles in the hole. And then he just ran out and capped the first. And I was like doing spin circles myself at the 2 trying to cap before they shot me. I don't know how I got it, but it just happened. Like I was just screaming, just cap it if you can. I'm going for it. And it was just one of those moments where we just happened to get them both at the same time. And it looked really cool, but it was actually chaotic as fuck.
Bees had a great match as well. He had a lot of clutch plays, especially on Axis side, where like he was the last guy alive in apartments somewhere, holding on to mid, breaking mid, getting 3 and 4 kill streaks. Just your stereotypical MVP of CPL 2004, DOD veteran, fragging his way to a victory.
Just to build off that real quick, a quick story. Bees, we scrimmed before that, and I was heaving with him, and he had an awful half with the STG, and he just made one of those CPL champ decisions. I'm just going to in this match, and look at him. He goes 30 and 26, just dominates apartments. The guy's nuts. I don't know what to say about Bees. Like, he really is one of those players that just can show up and go and hold his own no matter what gun, no matter what route. The guy's nuts. Kills. Like, super good player. Just one of those players you want on your team always, because you don't have to worry about him.
Right.
You don't have to worry about him getting reps. You don't have to worry about him knowing their role, or he just has insane game sense, insane aim. And it's funny you mentioned his streak on Allies, because I thought, or on Axis, because I thought his streak at the end of Allied half, which led to a cap out, was one of the more impressive streaks I've seen in a while too. Because he went all the way from like clearing lower apps on Allies to like pushing up 4-way into past G-Box and B-Hall. And Hildy and I were trying to do a double train push, which just went as you might expect. We both got fucking fragged. But Bees ended up coming right at the perfect time, got an easy double kill, and just wrapped and capped out. They just weren't ready for that. Like, they thought they killed 2 train. They thought the one was clear. PDX fucked off down A-Hall and got, like, naded or something. And that's the guy you got to have holding. Because once PDX is dead, it's time to go. It's time to fucking go.
A rare miscommunication there, I guess, by T3. Usually when it comes to defending, especially on these railroad maps, defending that last flag on Axis side, usually you cannot break through them.
No, it's very difficult, especially if you have like 3 to 4 people there.
Yeah.
Like it's just an almost impossible push without multiple people. I will say they didn't have Patton.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. No Nick
obviously Patton. A different team without Patton. Nothing against Till sniping.
No, Till did fine.
I do think Till's a good sniper.
He is. And I think that his like the overall value that you get out of a certain role, I think when he is on that like 3rd rifle or a class where he can be more mobile, I think
he's a very annoying train player. Like,
that's those kinds of routes, like where he
especially
really
on Axis. Like he's not afraid to go for that push Axis because he knows that Leo or PDX could bail him out if it gets bad enough. And probably what killed him, and I don't even want to give away too much information, but Bud not pushing train at all on Axis.
Right.
I just ignored him. I just said, like, I've played against Bud a lot, and there's one thing you don't do. You don't just push into Bud.
No, he'll be
waiting. This guy is a pro angle holder. Like, he's a guy you don't want to push in that 1v1 scenario like that where he's going to have the advantage because he's going to win
that fight.
He will win that, and you'll spend 3 deaths getting that back.
Yep.
So I was like, have fun sitting on train your side. Like, I'm just going to go 4-way and shit and like try to keep Vertex areas clear on his respawns. And it worked. The few times he pushed out, he killed me and caught me off guard, but he only did that like twice.
Yeah. I mean, you did obviously 21 and 18 on Allies doing your job. You broke mid like 4 or 5 times.
Where I just played safety. I'm not gonna, obviously having played them last season helped on that map because I knew what they like to do, which is get up 4-way, and that's kind of what they still tried to do. And you saw it in your cast, but the problem is you don't have Patton holding down the left side of the map like he usually does.
Patton usually is just like, there's no getting by a spot that he decides is his spot. Well, he'll be back and forth, like he'll be in double windows, get a couple picks, and then the other sniper's looking for him. But now he's on long, killing a guy apartments in blue room.
He's so annoying sniping access side this map.
Yeah.
Because he's like you said, he's everywhere. And he'll even be in train.
Yeah.
Looking down, trying to get a quick pick at connector.
He's very mobile, and that is, you don't see that a lot. When you compare him and Nightmare as two of the top guys, like Nightmare is very much more stationary and like a turret, whereas Nick is more like you have no idea where to expect. It's like Device versus
He
Simple.
Almost always relocates after that first or second kill. Like he does not stick around and like, shoulder peek, try to bait a shot, shit like that. Go with the Corey Jaggin no scope from off to cross the map. He just hard relocates, lets you spam where you think he is, and then he just shoots the next guy that runs by.
It is.
Very annoying player.
It's tough to counter ever, especially on a map of this size where he can really be in a lot of different places and you can't quite pin him down. I think that when they were in their prime, the Device versus Simple comparison, where Device was more like just locks down a spot like Nightmare, and then Simple was more like get a kill, run over here, get a kill, run back this way, get a kill, run over here. I think that's kind of like a good analogy for the two of them. On T3's side of things, of course, PDX and No Name were the two top fraggers. Of course, they are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's clear they have some timing issues. And
there was a lot of TKs.
A lot of DKs on their part, especially on their Axis half.
Yeah, they're working out growing pains for sure with the new lineup.
And that's going to get cleaned up.
Oh yeah,
I just don't think. No Name is quite used to Leo's fast pushes, and Leo's not the best communicator when it comes to that because he's just playing his game.
Gets into frag mode,
And No Name is so mechanically sound that he's just kind of going full robot through those motions.
Pretty
when he's
much,
throwing his nades. Like he's just not even looking. He's just doing what he knows he needs to do to clear so he can make the next peak.
Yeah.
And he ended up catching a few teammates,
which
we appreciate that over here at Icy Hot.
I think obviously PDX got No Name with a couple nades too.
Yeah, PDX had a kind of an off match altogether, I would say,
and
which
his
is
off
hilarious
match was 60
frags. Yeah, exactly. So an off night for PDX is still like one of the best nights I could have possibly had for me, which is really disturbing. But
you hate to see it, right?
Still, even with him kind of being a little off, like. There was plenty of times where, after the first half, I'm just like, all right, we're about to get smoked on allies because it's, I've thought it was an Axis-sided map pretty much until this match. I just felt like cars, once you get apartment control on Axis side, I just feel like it's full snowball status. I also feel like it's easier to cap out on Axis, ironically.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe not that much easier, but it is a little easier. So I was fully shaking in my boots going into allies, which, I should have known better than that.
Nah, you guys had shit down. I mean, really, obviously, T3, little bit of a new lineup, working out some growing pains, etc., but Icy Hot really played a strong rail yard game. Came prepared. Everybody did their job. Vertex dropped bombs. William dropped bombs. And everybody else played their role to a T.
Yeah, Hildy's score might not reflect it, but he did literally just hold that connector staring into lower apps position for 15 minutes on allies,
which is always nice because
and you get a kill there and then you get naded. So he just did that for a while.
Allied side sniping on that map can be.
On allies at one point we had their first and nothing else.
Yeah,
for a minute.
Recall.
It was so butt clenching.
I think that happened a couple times.
It was scary. And like we said, just you lose all that momentum on allies and you're down to your 2, and you got to flood train.
You do.
You've got to get 2-3 people through train, and we almost overdid this, as you saw on the stream. Yeah. We ended up with only one holding the only flag we had.
That was
in an awkward angle too. Like if someone jumps out ticket, they got it. At that point,
was the moment that I thought T3 was going to pull off one of their comebacks. Like, oh, this is the opportunity. There's one person on the 1. Surely there's going to be a swarm of T3 coming to the 1 and the 2 at the same time. But I think it just was Bud that came out by himself again because they were all pushed up holding the other flags.
And it was really sick, and Vertex really taking advantage of those train pushes because we were able to like always have someone at their one.
Yeah.
And like I would get up there and I would just, all right, Vertex, go 4-way. You're low health, go do your thing. And then I would hold it for a few waves, and then someone else would come through.
That cycle.
And that's really how we kept them
you
from
guys
capping
out.
But it was a fun match. It was a very high intense match. I mean, we thought they were gonna just turn it around at any moment. Like they're relentless. PDX and Leo will always be trying to get. I mean, and you saw where PDX did. He got under our spawn a few times, did his thing. And yeah, that's just even all the attention we give to him, like tracking him on death kill, sound whoring in apartments. He still pulls that shit. Like that just shows you how good he is, and it's really really annoying. Like the guy, sometimes he's just playing a different game than the rest of us. And
truly,
honestly, we got really lucky that Jesse 90-degree shot him under spawn once after he killed William. And Jesse just hit like the shot of his life instantly. And like, if he doesn't kill him there, he caps the first, and then he's got another wave at least. Yeah. So that's huge.
And I was literally like teeing him up to go off on a 4 or 5 kill streak there. Like, oh, this is exactly where PDX always gets a lot of kills. He's done it to us multiple times. He's got one, and oh my god, Jesse just 180 fucking flick shotted him. That could have been the disaster right there. But
it was really shades of our Railroad 2 match where he's just at the steps. Like, he got a triple kill under him once, and then another time, you even caught this too, he was actually on steps in an off angle, and Sick barely saw him, and then waited a sec, and then flew off and Garand shot him. Flying Garand shot him.
Flying Garand.
And he just got lucky that PDX moved a half second. Like,
right.
Then that just kind of makes me think he was having an off night, because he doesn't do that shit. He doesn't make those mistakes.
Those little movement errors that I make all the time and get caught, he usually does not, and he did there. Just like I think he thought William wasn't going to come. Or that there was
and he
no
still hit him with the bar, but he only got the one shot, the 63. And so just William got lucky there. And, Jesse hit a pretty lucky shot. I won't call it lucky. It was a good shot. But, yeah, obviously, without you put Patton in, who knows what happens. Like,
right. Different game, potentially, but can't take anything away from
he went there, and, yeah, that's what happened. We got the win. It was a GG. Yeah, I still think they're going to be we scrimmed them a few times since then, and they've just been shitting on us. Yeah, so
they're still the team to beat. When that lineup, they're whatever the 6 pans out to be.
Well, I can't say Patton scrim last night, so
okay.
I think the fun's over.
Yeah, because with that, whether I'm guessing Patton, PDX, Till, Taylor, No Name, like and Leo, that's scary.
Yeah, I think they would like to roll their Frenchmen with their 3 South Americans, because then they could dictate New York.
Yeah, but instead of Taylor, potentially, yeah.
Yeah, but I think you got to have Patton in. So then
you're
benching HXC or Till. Both are pretty vital to this team's history. Well, Till is anyways, HXC, but it's more fitting for what they need in a heavy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. Like, I think Bud is probably the odd man out.
Could be. I think that's what I said last week, I think. I didn't expect that this... I mean, I guess at the time I was saying that, like, I hadn't seen Patton scrim in a while, so I think... And Till keeps sniping whenever I see him, so I think maybe Patton wasn't playing this week, which did turn out to be right, but it sounds like Nick is back, so...
Yeah, I mean, he sniped last night, and he looked like he'd been playing the last few weeks, so I think they're going to be fine.
Nick doesn't need scrims.
Yeah, and that was on Shamil and Solitude, and he dominated both, so... Actually, I think we only played him on Solitude, and they obviously spanked us.
They are very good on Solitude.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of playing them on Solitude. So, yeah, GG's to T3, and I think we're going to see them bounce back big this week.
Somebody's going to feel the wrath of them in the coming weeks, and I believe we're up next on Solitude.
Yeah, you guys got them on Solitude, which is not fun.
No.
Because we know Thunder loves shitting the bed on Solitude.
Yeah. Oh my god, we're already at almost an hour and 40 minutes now.
God. All right, well, we're done with the goddamn recap at least. We can maybe plow through the predictions a little faster than usual. That was everything for Railroad 1. Real quick, your bronze MVP, Die Life, silver, Seanality, gold, Vertex. Congrats to those 3. Congrats to everyone that won. And those that lost, keep plugging away. The wins will come.
Oh, yeah. I think every division is up for grabs.
I completely agree. Let's get into Shamil, though. Week 2, DOD _Shamil, a stock map, classic map, been around for a long time. Everyone's played it. Everyone's got opinions on it. Most, I think, are okay with it.
I think so.
obviously it's got a few haters, and rightfully so.
Jules.
Jules, yeah, it's funny to hear Jules would rather play
Yeah.
Solitude than this. So
Then you check the screenshots, and he's top fragging every goddamn head. So
interesting call there by Jules.
I don't like it.
I don't either. We're gonna keep that one.
Shamil.
Yeah, he would rather play Solitude than Shamil. So Jules, bullshit. Wake up. All right, but let's start in bronze.
Yes. All right. So, we're gonna lose versus Flost here. Now
we're gonna lose first match.
Yeah.
In regular season,
they had the bye, and then we don't know what the situation is here with Flost. I'm gonna just assume that they're playing until I hear otherwise.
Yeah, we'll assume they're playing until they're not.
For Flost, Beluga, Bojanglers, Kingyo, Shifty, Pronstar, Fincher. I'm not sure what the 6 would be there.
They could put a solid 6 out there with those that roster, but
that's the thing. Yeah, it's they could be a solid.
We just don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's a matter of if they're actually going to play or if not. You never know. I guess we'll have to see going forward. But on the we're going to lose side, you got Grim and Softerson, of course, making their return to competitive DOD. Skin Toe. I'm not sure who Heartthrob is. 3-Sided Quarter and Pizza Hut, I know. And then 3 Moon definitely played in the preseason. Smokey, I don't think. I assume at very least the top 3 here, and 3-Sided Quarter and Pizza Hut will be in.
If we knew Floss was going to play, this might be just the match of the week, just due to uncertainty hype.
Right.
We don't know which team is better, just
no clue.
We literally have no idea.
Truly, I have no clue what to expect out of this at all. Not lineup-wise or performance-wise. I'd say that experience-wise, we're going to lose takes that.
Really, I was thinking maybe Floss,
maybe lately.
Maybe lately. Fincher's got some KTP experience, and Kingyo has some experience. Bojanglers played last season. I think Beluga's 12-man some at least.
Yeah, so those guys all have experience in KTP, but what I'm saying is the overall career in DOD. This is a lot of players who have played for 20 years.
And this is a nice friendly map for that type of player.
Yes, they will have no problem remembering how to play Shamil.
Maybe they were hoping to bust out that MG or something.
Yeah.
None of that.
Bad news.
I get where you're coming from. And if Shifty would ever make his KTP appearance, so many people have been waiting to see that, and I just guess it's not in the cards.
He's nowhere to be found.
I've been waiting for that guy to show us what he's got in a competitive environment for a while, because he's been wiping the floor at ME 109 for a long time. He is the god
of Me 109.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this matchup just because of the potential forfeit win. So I'm with you. I'm going to take we're going to lose. But I think if they do play, it's almost a toss-up.
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking we're going to lose. I think Grim and Softerson will be running a tight ship over there. Skin Toe will be a good player again if he just keeps fragging. Same with 3-Sided Quarter and Pizza Hut. All guys who, if they're playing regularly, and Girl playing regularly, will be able to get the swing of things again real quickly, and I expect that they will perform well in a matter of the next 3 weeks here. Just fragging a little bit, getting themselves back to 2010 or whatever.
I guess they're gonna have to change their name to We Didn't Lose.
That's what's coming next week.
And then they'll be 2-0, which will be hilarious.
They're gonna be taken after which team? TBD, and changing their name every week. But I agree. Yeah. We're going to lose, I take, to win this. I believe in this team. I believe in Grim and Softerson and Skin Toe and Quarter. Floss might even just forfeit. Right now, it seems to be that they're not alive anymore. But
I hope not. I hope Beluga, or if Bo's really done, I hope they can find someone to at least take over for the rest of the season.
Right, Beluga and whoever is willing to do it on the team, really.
But let's keep trucking. The de facto match of the week will be Nice versus Washed Up.
Yes,
I shouldn't say de facto. It truly is the match of the week in bronze.
So Washed Up, we obviously didn't get to watch this week, but lineup-wise, you got Bullet. War Within is sniping. ProStar is also heavying with Bullet. Casino is rifling. I think Dark Knight has been getting to play, but they're hoping that Defrag can figure out something with Moss running Windows or whatever.
Oh, yeah, he's having iOS issues, right?
Yeah, so if they can do that, I think that is, again, that adds another very serious team in bronze, which I hope to see that. I'd love to see a 3-way, up for grabs, who can take this title. But we'll see if Frag ends up back in. But, so washed up, again, not the exact same washed up as last season, but with the potential to be just as deadly. And then obviously, where is the lineup over here? There it is. So, Laura, Stealth, Twist, Stamp, Die Life, Lynx seem to be the 6.
Same as last week.
Dillard, Luke, it seems like he can't really be too active, which is good for the sake of the Bronze Division, let me tell you, because he is ridiculous.
So right off the bat, looking at the heavies, this is definitely a bullet map.
Yes.
He's going to know all the spots at underpass, assuming he heavies, which I assume he will.
All the nades, everything.
Stamp and Twist will probably have their hands full this week with that heavy duo, whether it's ProStar and Bullet or Bullet and whoever you mentioned.
I believe it's Bullet and ProStar.
Yeah,
if
we're within sniping, he's done heavy and good for him. But
and Casino is really good. Was a really good rifle on back in the day,
and he's gonna get it back sooner than later.
Don't
know if we'll see Insane. Sounds like he's still not that interested.
Yeah, he's not able to be active, I guess.
He's probably emergency backup status.
Yeah, when it's absolute necessary.
For sure, and then it comes back to TBD. Looking at the factory side, this is a big Kevin Gardner Die Life map.
Die Life loves Shamil.
Yep, so does Stealth, I believe. He's always sniped it pretty well. He's a big fan of the quads. He likes to go car. He likes to try and wall people.
Oh, yeah.
So, like you said, Die Life's going to be zooming 100 miles per hour through wood as fast as he can, both halves.
Throwing the right
Something you're going to have to look for and washed up. The thing is, though, is Shamil's a nice map to slow people down on.
It is.
So this could be rough for Die Life. He may just find himself walking into bullets a few times trying to get through, and then he's leaving like Laura and some of these, maybe Lynx to hold factory. That's definitely a factory team you can take if you have enough people and can peak at the same time. So that kind of scares me for TBD, but not enough to where I will predict them to lose. So I am going to take TBD, formerly known as Nice, with the win here over Washed Up. I think it's going to be a little close, but I think I'm going to take them by a cap and a half.
Okay. I do agree. I got to take... I think that Washed Up, I want to see how their lineup sort of plays out, and everybody... War Within now on the sniper after he was having a really good season at heavy. If ProStar can get back to his old self, Casino, if Frag ends up back in the lineup. So I'm not quite ready to take them over TBD yet, but if you start to see those things all happen, then we've got a real situation on our hands here. So I got to go with TBD. I'm going to say by 37.
Okay, I like the keeping the score accurate instead of the old cap and a half.
I don't fuck with that.
That's some weak shit.
Romario gets a bye. So
and Romario on bye. That's the last matchup. So congrats Romario on that win.
Free win
via bye. Yeah, and that's wraps it up for
that's bronze, baby.
Moving on to silver. And just taking, just full disclosure, we did not pick matches of the week preemptively, so I'm doing that mentally right now. I'm gonna go Clinic No-Go?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, perfect. So let's start Jetty and Som.
Yeah.
We'll save that one for last.
So Jetty, of course, like we said, growing pains, everybody kind of getting back into the swing of things here. Shamil, though, a map that these guys know like the back of their hand. You're looking at a John Gall, Steve.
I don't know if they love it, though.
They do. They've been talking about, like, stratting on it and stuff and figuring out, like, good nades to throw and good angles to hold and everything. I'm not sure about what the class situation is going to be. If Steve is going to rifle, if Steve is going to snipe, if Ian's going to rifle, if Ian's going to snipe. I assume it'll be Modgers and Riv on the heavy, Steve and John on the main rifles, Sapphire on the third, or Frank on the third, and Ian on the sniper, but that's obviously subject to change. And then for Insomnia, you've got Sean, Illusion, Head Like a Hole, Gandhi, 9, Hypnotic. Sean, I can tell you for sure, is also great at Shamil, and I'm sure Illusion will be as well.
Now,
I'm curious to see the heavies, though.
Well, here's the thing. I've seen CLT scrimming this week with him.
Oh.
So I don't know if they're... And this is his map, as you know.
It is.
You can park him underpass, and he can just do his thing.
It's almost like having an MG both halves.
Pretty much, yeah. So I don't know if they're going to roll him out or not.
Who's been
I'm not sure who you would replace.
Yeah.
maybe H-Law, and
Might be.
then like I don't know. I'm
I
not sure
think I
what's
saw
going on.
Gandhi scrimming, so yeah, it might be Nick.
Well, CLT was playing third, so it makes sense if he's playing for Nick. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
either
true.
way, that's definitely a
Interesting.
map to roll him out on. Chetty would not enjoy that,
No,
so might be the play
that
just to
might
throw him
be,
off
yeah,
completely. But
interesting.
yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking that I don't remember Riv ever having any crazy Shamil clips back in the day.
He definitely had one in the Thunder movie, at least.
Okay, so I'm not saying that it's not his map. It's just I think of Riv and I just think of like Railroad 2 and Harrington and like
Oh, yeah.
those crazy clips on those maps.
Those are
But
his, yeah, his, like, I'm gonna go fucking kill everyone maps.
I don't think Matt loves this map either. But yeah, I think him and Riv is a lot of firepower. So I like
Yeah.
that underpass team for Jetty over the Insomnia heavy. Sorry,
Oh,
Nine.
yeah, I'd say so.
But it is just what I'm feeling here. So with that in mind, it's going to kind of what is Insomnia going to do to offset that? What rifle is going to? If it's coffee, that might be it.
I think
If
it's coffee that's gonna go underpass
it's
there.
not coffee, then you're going to have to send Sean or what's his ass
Illusion,
Illusion over there at
yeah.
some point to maybe help clean it up a little bit, especially on Axis.
That is very true. Huh.
Because if you're getting Riv and Matt up your ass from puddle, it's going to be a long
Yeah,
half.
very long half if you constantly got bars pushing to your first flag like that.
But on the flip side, we've seen what these rifles have been doing on ISG Gaming or
So good.
Insomnia Gaming, so
So good.
it's going to be a full table setting for John Gill and Steve and Ian and Saf, whoever ends up going out there. It's going to be a long match.
Yeah.
Factory. I can see that coming already for Jetty. So, man, this is a tough one to pick.
Right.
And I know I'm going to get flack for this. And I'm almost scared about picking against our boys. But until I see him fully clicking, I got to go Insomniac in this one. I'm
Right.
taking Insomniac over Jetty. It's just, I think Insomniac is going to be a little more well rounded for this map. I do love the heavy matchup for Jetty, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the rifles are what win matches in some maps like this, in my
On
opinion.
Shamil, I'd
So
say,
on
yeah.
Shamil, I think so. Yeah, just with the nades and everything. So I will be taking Insomniac Gamers, and I'm going to take them by 2 caps.
Yeah, I mean, I think just based on what we've seen so far, Jetty's still kind of getting their sea legs back under them, trying to get back to form. John looked really good last week. Steve is getting there. Again, not positive who the third rifle is going to be and which, who's going to snipe. Steve can be a very, very strong Shamil sniper, and I think
That's very true.
Yeah, that could be a potential way to lock out Sean and Illusion. But I have no idea what they're actually doing. I think they've kind of been switching back and forth, trying to figure out what they want to do. It's tough to pick against how good the Insomniac Gamer rifle team is looking right now. Sean and Illusion look they look like gold rifles with how well they're performing.
Pretty much, yeah.
And John is going to be back to 100% very, very, very soon. Like if he's not right now after just getting back for a couple weeks of scrimming. Steve should be there in the next few weeks. I just don't know if they'll get back to that point in time for this match. Riv and Modgers could, by just being a total nightmare for the opposing team in underpass. That could be how they do it if they can just keep the rifles focused on underpass because they're constantly getting through puddle. I think that's
they're going to have
path.
to pull pressure off
Yeah.
Factory via underpass. Both halves. I completely agree.
Especially because the way that Sean and Illusion play, like Illusion is more of a turret. So you'll see him kind of holding from quads, connector, double windows on axis, and Sean will be pushing wood hard. So they've got both of those sides covered as far as
they got that complementary play style.
Yep, again, so key in team composition. But yeah, like you said, Jetty are our boys. We hang out with them every day. It's tough to pick against them, but I think they need a little more time before they're going to be fully back to the point where they're beating everybody else in silver. I'd love to turn out to be wrong. Like, I'd love to see them come out flying this week, like they've scrimmed all the time and everybody's back to normal. But I think Insomnia is going to end up taking this one, and I think it's going to be closer than people might expect based on last week. I think it's going to end up being like a 22-point game.
My advice for Jetty, and they probably won't want to hear this, but I think Steve needs to snipe, and I think
that's what I said too.
And I think Matt Rogers needs to rifle.
I think that would give a little more of a spread here for guys who are like really feeling it right now and are already back to 100%, where you can have them all over the map. And Steve, I mean, again, Steve is a good rifle, but he is definitely a natural sniper. It's like me and being a sniper and being a rifle. Like
it's also, sorry, keep going.
I was just gonna say I'm technically a sniper and I rifle sometimes.
Exactly, and I also think that Steve and John are identical play styles almost when it comes to rifling.
True.
They're very not turret, but they're just calculated. They're kind of slower than you might expect, and you need an aggressive rifle, especially on the car.
Yeah.
Someone that can peek and clear, and Matt is probably the best player on that roster to do that right now, in my opinion.
I'd say so.
So I would move him to main rifle. I'd move Steve to sniper, and then I don't know who you put on the other heavy, but you probably maybe put Ian on it. I don't know.
You could have Ian do it. I'm not sure how much Ian is heavied, but obviously if the team was had a primetime Busby or Surge here, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, there's two huge heavies on the roster,
Yeah.
but unfortunately they're not active at the moment.
No.
So maybe they recruit a heavy. I don't know, but right now I think Matt should be rifling just because of that. They're missing that big hitter on that, and they need a big hitter on the rifle. And that's nothing against John or Steve. I think Steve should be sniping. That'll help John kind of fit more into his natural role of a little bit of a rover, a little bit of a holder, And then, I think Matt is an aggressive rifle when he plays rifle. I've always thought he was an underrated rifle.
For sure.
So that's something I'd like to see. But I understand if they want to keep going their current route just for what's that word? Continuity's sake.
Continuity, yeah.
So either way, I think they're going to be fine in the long run. But that's just my 2 cents. Tony's 2 cents, if you will. But yeah.
Well, that versatility is nice, obviously, for Steve.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
And taking it map by map and everything, just knowing what is coming for them as far as the rifle tandem of Insomnia goes, I feel like you're going to be better off having Steve at a distance to neutralize them with the sniper, where John is a very good positional rifle, and Steve kind of is more of a positional rifle as well. You don't want to be stepping on each other's toes and play style,
Because you end up with 2 people staring at the same thing from 5 feet apart or something, and that's never ideal.
I've
sometimes
seen Steve
it's needed.
Go nuts on Shamil sniping.
Yeah, I mean that's some of his better clips have been on Shamil sniping.
Oh yeah,
he's had some insane clips on Shamil sniping. But I understand if he wants to rifle, he sniped his whole damn life.
Yeah,
basically
it gets boring.
But again, we're both taking Insomnia Gamers over Jetty here. You think it's a little closer than I do.
I do.
And let's keep trucking here. We've got Lads on Tour versus Fuckboys, which I almost said match of the week.
Yeah. With the addition of Debo, it makes it tempting, but yeah.
I don't know what he's not gonna be happy this week because they're playing on.
Yeah,
they're playing on New York because Lads on Tour, so he's probably not playing this week.
Yeah, he's out.
So then that kind of comes back to their roster they had last week, which I'm pretty sure is what we'll see.
Hopper, DB, Gall, Joshinator, Big Bird, and Reptar. Versus Louis, Yanni, Milo, Cage, Timo, and Chi.
And again, we'll have to wait and see if they do any rotation on Lads on Tour. I don't think they will. Maybe Toki gets in there, but I doubt it. So on paper, and I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna assume Debo's not playing because it's New York. But right off the bat, Lads on Tour appears to have the heavy advantage with the Milo Chi versus
for sure, yeah.
Versus who's a Hopper and
Joshinator. Yeah.
Just a little too much firepower coming at him now. This will be Hopper's big test here.
Yeah, if Hopper can put up numbers. We saw a
step forward week 1.
Man.
If we see a step forward week 2, watch out. This is for real.
He's going to start getting some attention on the up and coming stud of Silver.
So, and this is a big test. I mean, Milo on this map is crazy. I've seen him go crazy on this map.
It's tough.
He likes to he'll do some rotations through wood. He won't fully go underpass. He's going to be all over the fucking place. They got to be ready for that.
If you think the factory team is down, just stop for a second, because Milo might be in car alley, standing STG, all 3 of you.
I want to say this is the only map JN got to snipe on no-go.
It's okay.
In season 1, at least. Maybe that was season 2. I can't
Obviously
remember
not a
exactly.
great sniper map, especially on
No,
Axis.
definitely
But
not.
allies,
But
you can put in some work.
I think he'll be fine. That sniper matchup's...
It's a good one.
Yeah, I can't even pick one off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I'll give a slight edge to JN.
DB's
Just
still getting back to the swing of sniping.
Exactly, still getting back in the swing of things. So I'm going to give a slight sniper edge to JN. So then let's talk rifles here.
Yeah.
And it's like they got Gall, which
Oh,
is a monster and a half. But then they've got Timo and Louis, who both had huge week 1 matches.
And Cage is the third.
And Cage is the third. So I like all three of those
Yeah.
really well here. It's just, then you got Reptar and maybe Big Bird.
Right, still coming into their own.
Yeah, so, this is kind of Reptar's car season. So he's going to have to pick it up. Not that he hasn't been, but just he's got to, really hold his own this season. And
if he can get going on that car, that could be a huge difference maker in a match like this.
Yeah, well, Gall's going to need. Gall can't do everything.
No,
he tried to do everything last week, and it wasn't
he almost
enough.
succeeded.
So this is a little easier of a map to slow people down on, like we mentioned before.
Yeah,
feels like a big Gall map to me.
I'd say so. I feel like he's always going to get at least 60 kills overall.
Yeah, I think he's a lock for 40 with a car every week going forward.
Right.
Unless, I state otherwise that week of, but I'm locking him in for 40 this week on Axis. Man, this is tough. I'm going to take Lads on Tour by 10 points.
Okay. Giving it a close one there.
Very close match here. And I think if Lads on Tour roll out the same roster they did last week, I'm going to take them. It's going to be close. But man, I almost went with Fuckboys there.
Almost went to the Fuckboys. I think if they had Debo playing and he just accepted that he has +3 ping because it's a New York server and it's literally only 3 difference between him on Chicago, New York. I say this to him every time. Like there was one time we were scrimming on a New York and he said, we got to go to Chicago. He had 63 ping in New York and then had 60 in Chicago. And I was like, it's only 3, man. You're fine. Like, he's such a good player. He just needs to let go of this, like, server is the big... Sometimes we hit shots that don't hit.
It's just some privileged lifestyle. I don't know. He's just a bitch when it comes to that shit. Like, maybe because he never worked in his life, or maybe it's because he just can't get along with everyone. But, like, we have Brazilians, we have Argentinians, we have fucking Euros playing on these servers with 3 times as much ping as you. Shut the fuck up.
And they're, like, the New York server in most cases is so that they can have, like, 120 ping instead of 200 or whatever. So it's like, the difference between 65 and 60 versus that.
T3 even let us play Chicago, even though they could have forced us into New York. So, I don't know. That was honestly a very cool thing by them.
For sure.
I will give big kudos to that. And I think that might have even been Till. So, thanks, Till, for giving us that.
Could have been, yeah. But yeah, so if they're playing Debo, which again, if I was him, I'd just play because, like, it's not all blaming the server when a shot doesn't hit. Sometimes DOD is just bad, and I think maybe he's put too much stock in this +5, +8 ping difference, whatever. But because he's not playing, I said Lads on Tour is going to be a finalist this season. I've played against Timo and Milo and Cage on a team on this map in a lot of scrims, and they can be very frustrating to play against. I think Lads on Tour take it by 74.
Okay, yeah. A little bit more than I think, and it may be a bigger blowout than that, but I think Fuckboys is kind of getting into their own here.
I think they are too, for sure.
And if Reptar can maybe average like 5 or 6 more kills both halves, like, they're going to be fine.
Oh yeah, that would make them very formidable.
Not that his play's been bad, just
no, it's just
I think he's capable of that. Yeah, I think he's capable.
34, 35 kills with that car.
I'm not saying go out there and be Gall 2.0.
No. Just
maybe
being
Gall
a compliment
60%,
to Gall.
65%, yeah.
Yeah.
And he has been.
For sure. He's improved vastly over the last year. Playing against him is a whole different ball game now. He kills me a lot. In the draft rifling against him, I was like, God damn, this guy's good on the client. But,
All right, that's both of us taking Lads on Tour here.
Yeah.
And let's get to our match of the week in
Yeah.
silver.
Let's see where we're at. Oh, God.
No go versus
We got to fly through these
don't look
last
at
four.
it. How many times? You can't look at it. It's like the sun.
It's bad.
Don't look directly at the time. All right. No go versus Clinic. Speed round.
Okay. No go versus Clinic. Obviously, two of the favorites here. Technically, almost like the two champions of silver of the last two seasons. Not quite for no go, obviously. I mean, on a map like Shamil, a lot of teamwork coming in. Clinic is the paragon of teamwork. No go is no slouch either. Dedro, Caleb. I guess I haven't seen Corey play yet, so I'm going to assume
I don't know if he's playing this week. I assume Caleb will be in again.
So yeah, Dedro, Caleb, Spoon, Recoil, Allen, Austin. That is a hell of a roster right there. But Clinic is no slouch either, obviously. Tom, Candy, Suave, Carp, Vic, and Stark. It's just I gotta take Clinic. I like I said, I'm pretty sure I'd take them for every single match this season, no matter what. I just think that they are the definition of a DoD team, and that's tough to beat.
No-Go's not going to be happy, but yeah, I'm not going to make the mistake I tried to make last week and not pick Clinic here. Seems like a Clinic map.
Yeah.
To me, like I think Mersan is going to be a nuisance at Underpass. Assuming he heavies, which I think he will. I think I saw him heavy in earlier this week. Tom and Candy. This is a Candy map if I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Just a nice one straight shot that he can hit every time, no problem. Get some nice walls in. And then Carp, it will be harder for him to make as much of an impact as he had in week past.
True.
But if he drops 30 each this match, then, crown him. I don't know what else to say about him.
That'd be it right there, right?
He's really trying to crack that top 5 snipers in DOD.
He's coming for it. I'm telling you. And Recoil is no slouch to do that against Recoil, who is kind of like the king in the silver division of the snipers last season.
Yeah, he's very steady, very consistent sniper.
I look forward to seeing that sniper. Because, I mean, again, it's not a sniper map, but you still duel with each other a lot on that map, and it's kind of fun to see how it plays out in the end.
I will say, kind of similar to the Lads on Tour match, the Underpass team, Spoon and Allen might be too much for Mersan and Stark.
They might have to go into like a defensive kind of a play style to try to just prevent the damage from getting too far beyond the Underpass, like keep them away from the ones.
I feel like Tom will be that rotator.
Probably.
Who tries to clean it up a little bit, which is a good guy to have doing it.
Or Candy.
Or Suave. I mean,
any of them, yeah.
Suave will probably be rifling, so
for sure.
He can do it. But I feel like I've seen Candy getting in that puddle.
Yeah.
In my deep in my mind, I can see it. So, or Tom as well. Yeah, I'm going Clinic, but I wouldn't be surprised if Spoon and Allen gave them all they wanted, especially with bars.
I think that's the X factor for no-go is that heavy team, who I think it's pretty safe to say currently the best heavy team in silver. If they can really cause hell pushing through Underpass, getting behind the factory team, getting the first flags, whether or not they have factory, that's where no-go can turn this around. Now, Clinic is not going to be as susceptible to those kind of plays because they're going to have great communication and rotations and nades, but if those two can find a way to shoot their way out of Underpass and go cause problems for
and pull
Clinic
pressure off factory, like we said,
yeah.
Because I mean, I think Dro, Bill Basad, and Recoil and Namus will probably have their hands full trying to get into factory, and I imagine Bill's probably a good guy to have on this map for potential ninjas, jumping quads, doing weird shit. So probably a guy to roll out on this map, assuming Corey Price isn't available, but. Yeah, it's just no-go. I love them, but Clinic is looking sharp. And again, I think it's going to be closer than we think, but I'm with you. I'm going to take Clinic by a little over a cap.
I like it.
All right. Let's call it on silver then.
This is already done, by the way, on gold. This match already happened. We don't even need to talk about it.
Okay, so T3 Why So Serious already happened. We're not talking about it. So
T3 won. Why So Serious had, I think, 2 or 3 ringers, and I think I didn't even see the first half, but by the second half, there was a lot of prone training going on. So
okay, so it was just full memes.
Yeah.
As expected. All right. Well, I think if I was to pick one of these two matchups for match of the week, I would lean Rat Pack Thunder.
I think so.
I think you'd agree. Okay,
I'm
good.
curious to see Rat Pack up against us. Yeah.
I do think Fart Hinder against us is going to be a good matchup, especially with these new acquisitions.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not looking forward to it because they're good, and I don't want to play them. But
right. There is.
so let's start there.
Yeah.
Fart Hinder Icy Hot.
So for Fart Finder, guessing a little bit here, but I'm gonna just assume Manor and SZ on the heavies, Kum, Saka, and Scotty on the rifles, and Nightmare sniping. You could see Jizz. He was playing when we scrimmed against them the other day, but I'm just going to assume roughly the same lineup from last week, but with SC and
Mata out,
Mata.
SC in. You got you. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't think we'll see SQ.
Right, I think he's kind of like if somebody can't show
exactly.
up.
I think he's an emergency backup,
Yeah.
but obviously a serviceable player.
For sure, and he is. He's somebody who's a great backup to be able to throw in there.
And like we've mentioned several times, we're still like Caffrey's nowhere to be found. Hopefully he'll be back someday. But yeah, I'm with you on that lineup. I think that's probably their strongest lineup right now. I am excited that we're catching Nightmare on Shamil and not like Harrington or something crazy.
Or Thunder.
And I'll probably eat those words now.
Of course.
Because I just said that. And you know I love shooting myself in the foot on the podcast. Done it so many times. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. What do you think? I'm curious to think the matchups. Do you think is there a weakness to you?
So over, well, I guess they're not exactly over, but it is mostly the core of over. Have played Shamil against PMC the last 2 seasons and lost to PMC on Shamil. Icy Hot here. Vertex has been a Shamil god. I know how good you are. Are you going underpass or factory? Are you allowed to?
Yeah, I'll be heavy in this week.
Heavy in this week with bees?
With bees.
Okay, wow, that's a heck of an underpass team. SC and Manor will have their hands full. Jesse on the third. Obviously, Ben sniping. Man, that's... And William as the other rifle. I was like, did I say... So, no, William and Casey and Jesse. That is...
You got it.
Good a rifle team as you can get. And then Ben on the sniper, obviously, complementing that. And then a heavy team that it's going to be tough for Manor and SC to really get a lockdown on here. I think they're going to have to kind of play a little bit more conservative and passive to really have a chance to be playing out underpass on their side. I think that obviously there's a lot of explosive talent over here in Saka, Kum, and Scotty, and of course Nightmare being in factory. But I think just the steady, slow and steady fragging that you get out of a William and a Casey, where you just know like they're going to be, 28 and 19 or whatever, both halves on Shamil, which is a lot of kills on Shamil. Nightmare, I'm sure, will win the sniper battle because he does against everybody, always. So Ben has another tough matchup here, but it's Shamil. The snipers are kind of more like just decorative on this map. I got to go with Icy Hot by, I'm going to say 2 caps.
Okay.
I would love to find out that Fart Finder with SC, like this is the missing piece and it really gets them going as a team unit all around. This is just a tough matchup to have on this map in particular, where Nightmare, even being the best sniper in DOD, can't have as much of an impact on the overall game. More of a defensive weapon than anything at that point.
I will say, I believe Typical beat Icy Hot last season on Anzio, and Manor went berserk.
Yes.
So
that was the
he might be the Icy Hot killer. I don't know.
It could be.
He had a nuts half.
That could be.
Probably the best heavy performance against Icy Hot of anyone that season.
I would say so. Just off the top of my head, I don't remember anyone else really dominating.
I don't know, maybe they had rough time in playoffs against like one of the T3 heavies, but no, I remember. And maybe Icy Hot ended up winning that match. I can never remember because there's so many close matches. I think they lost, and it was like over right down to the wire.
Wait, was it on?
It was on Anzio.
On Anzio. Icy Hot versus over on Anzio.
That was
typical. Yeah, I think they lost that match. It was the match where the configs were technically wrong, so mid on Anzio was given out 2 points. And it came down to the last 5 minutes. Whoever could hold the mid flag for the most of the last 5 minutes won.
Yeah, Icy Hot did lose because they tried to quick cap when they didn't need to.
For no reason.
And now quick capping is, something we don't do anymore.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But, they That's exactly what happened. So yeah, so Manor is historically had his way with Icy Hot. So hoping to turn that around this week.
Right.
Reverse that.
I think this will be a really, really fun match. Just with all the talent on both teams. I think you're going to see a lot of like 3+ kill streaks coming out of both these sides. But
And there's some narrative here too. You know, Bees doesn't love these guys,
Oh.
so he's coming out looking to
I didn't
drop
know
bodies.
that.
Well, if you remember, we had the scroll wheel kerfuffle
yeah.
back in the day,
That's right.
a couple
Yeah.
months ago. So
Bees,
you
and he's
know,
got a little bit of a hot coal under his ass this week to try and drop some bombs.
and you don't want to give Bees
No.
boardroom locker room material, you know.
Never.
So I'm excited. Bees is excited. Should be a good match, and I'm hoping Nightmare doesn't pivot to like heavy just to fuck me.
You never know.
Just to do it.
They could.
So
You could
he
see
could.
a lineup with like
And Mata could be
sniping.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's scary. Like that's not fun.
Manor on like the lights going underpass instead of on the heavies kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean it could be a Manor Nightmare heavy
Or Manor
team.
Nightmare.
That
SC.
sounds
I don't know
horrible.
if SC plays other classes. I only know him as a heavy, but maybe he even does.
Yeah. Well, he'll probably heavy, yeah, no matter what. Then.
Yeah.
And Manor can third, so
for sure.
That's on the table. Yeah, it should be a fun match. I'm looking forward to it. And good luck, of course. Good luck. Have fun to Farthinder.
I do feel like Shamil is a map that you see a lot of weird, crazy upsets happen to. So this could be one of those. Always, of course.
Nice. Glad you spoke that into existence.
Well, Over got upset by PMC twice on Shamil, though. So really, the history works in your favor.
Yeah, probably not as big of an upset as we think.
The first season, I think it was.
Yeah.
At that point, everybody was like, well, PMC, this is just like a pug, and Over has No Name and Sokka and Kun.
But then they made the finals.
Yeah. Well,
so,
yeah.
Kind of.
That was that's right, yeah, the whole screenshot fiasco leading into the finals.
The old debacle.
Forgot about that.
Old PB forgot to take pictures in our games. But that's okay. That's why we have Moss.
Yeah. That's what Moss is for now.
You think Scotty's Moss pictures are of a wall? Okay. Anyways, moving on to our match of the week. In the gold. Rat Pack versus Thunder.
Rat Pack versus Thunder.
This should be an interesting one. Kind of the first true Thunder test.
Yeah.
Since preseason was a whatever, and then you had play shitters last week, so now you got this week, and and I'll be the first one to say you guys are not as active as last season or even season 1.
We have hardly been playing DoD. We are playing too much.
Way too much CS:GO. So much CS:GO on the Thunder Discord. My God,
I hate it.
What is happening?
I don't like it. I really don't like it.
It's insane.
To me, it's a waste of time. Like
waste of fucking time. Waste of God-given talent.
It's fun to play CS:GO as a break from DoD every once in a while, but when I'm having to sit here and learn 57 fucking smokes just so we can go,
it's not what you signed up for.
It's not like
you're the Jaginator. You're not the fucking smoke bot.
I don't do this shit, and then I'm
pop flash, bitch.
God damn! I just need a scope that I cannot use.
Just give him a gun and turn him loose.
That's it. Fuck.
So
yeah, Thunder, we're not scrimming nearly enough, and it's already.
Would you say you're concerned?
I will be concerned if we come out this week and do anything other than win. Handling.
Okay. So not concerned until losses start appearing.
Because everybody's at least still playing games. If it was just we're all just not doing anything, I'd be like, okay, we're fucked. But because we're still playing Quake and CS:GO and shit, like I feel
at least mouses are being clicked.
Yeah. But
which is a positive.
We really do need to scrim. We scrimmed once already this week, and me and Tox heavied. So,
well, there's a nice start to fucking around all week.
Yeah, and we did scrim on Solitude that same day, back to back, and I rifled, and Jared heavied that time.
So you're ready for both maps, sounds like.
Active. We're looking great.
Ready to snipe both weeks.
Yeah.
Well, will Tox even play this week? Can you release that?
I have no idea. I
don't
know
idea on the Thunder lineup?
I think that it's supposed to be not Sunday, actually. So I think he should be able to be here no matter what.
Okay. Because, I think we can count on you and Jules and J-Rod and Dorito and Ryan Emo. So it's really just, is Tox going to show up or is it going to be Ace?
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I would think that it'll be like the main starting 6 showing up.
Or do you go nuclear and roll Hudson out cold?
You could. That's always
He's not running Moss, so that's automatic loss.
Yeah, we immediately forfeit that game just by Hudson's existence.
So that you got that going for you.
Plus, he's sure to MM1 and negative.
Yeah, he's definitely negging. And if he's not negging, he's yes sirring. And he's not apologizing.
The most toxic player in the Quake Champions community, in case anyone needed confirmation on that.
Just remember, Toxin Hudson brought me up. So
yeah,
if you wonder why I am the way I am, there you go.
Sometimes it's just about nature versus nurture. And in this case, it's the nurture. That's who's causing these problems. But yeah.
But to get a little serious here,
Rat Pack, Arachnid.
It is a big matchup.
I do. I think it's going to be a fun to play for sure and fun to watch for people. Hopefully someone will cast it. Arachnid, CK, PB, Devin, Raven, Grant, or maybe secretly instead of one of those guys. I don't know. But that is a hell of a lineup. And the way that Arachnid snipes, I think, caters very well to this map. Where he likes to hold tight angles and really rely on that reaction time and aim and flicking. I think, some guys can snipe Shamil better than others. I think he'll be one of them that can.
I believe this is a CK favorite.
For sure.
I think he loves Shamil.
And so many nade kills to get.
I think one of his daughters isn't even named Shamil.
That might be.
So that's all you need to know there.
Right?
Paintball's obviously strong on any map. Yeah. And I'll tell you a funny story. We did Scrim Rat Pack on Shamil. And Devin wasn't a big fan of my play style. At one point, he asked me about 12 minutes in, maybe even like 15 minutes in, if I reconnected because I was like 14-5 because I wouldn't push him because we had the lead and I was just like, fuck it, I'm chilling.
Sitting on this.
I'm chilling in trips. Like, who leaves trips?
You
it's
don't
just
need
so
to.
Broken. And he didn't like that. And I asked him to come on down to Underpass and he wouldn't do it. He just started on Factory. Or maybe he was even rifling that scrim. It was funny. No harm, no foul there. But honestly, Grant Cody is, molded into the corners of Shamil. Like, man has played a lot of Shamil in his day. He knows the spots. Devin will probably be heavy in with him. So he's going to let Devin just full speed through, and Grant's going to play,
as passive as he can.
Passive as he'll still push some, but he'll be way more passive. Raven will be the X factor in this third rifle. Where's he gonna go? I imagine he'll just beeline through, try to get to wood each time. But I'm not sure who the floater will be. Probably PB, since he's got a little more of a brain than CK. So I mean, CK is just running and nailing the whole time, and that's just what you got. He's probably going quads every spawn.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think Arachnid is going to lose some value here since it's not a big sniper map like we've been saying this whole episode. And you're obviously not one of the snipers you want to see on this map.
I do love Shamil.
You're pretty annoying on Axis side.
It's all the no-scope, like that perfect range of no-scope for me. I love it.
Yeah, and I guess secretly is their backup. You probably won't play. Yeah, it's hard to not see Thunder taking this. Just with the firepower, Dorito is nuts on this map.
That's, I think, the biggest thing is Brian.
And I don't even think Tox playing is that big of an issue. Ace is good at this map. You guys might have to shift some stuff around. Is Jules rifling, right?
No, he's supposed to heavy. It's just we didn't have Tox, so he had to when Jared's not here, Ace comes in heavies and Jules rifles.
Okay, so Jules will be heavying, assuming Tox plays. Okay, so that's pretty standard missionary for Thunder.
Crazier though, the thing to talk about is Ryan Emo versus Spec Ops. The Blood Brothers and Heavy Tandem are playing against each other for the first time in a match that I can remember.
Will they be able to shoot at each other? Are they gonna kill the other one and then like wave and run by each other?
That's my guess.
I was assuming that's the play.
Or will it get like so horrifically toxic that on Shamil that the friendship ends?
Oh my god. I don't know. Honestly, I was shocked Grant left Thunder. I don't want to like get into any of that really, but I part of the reason I left is I saw Grant coming back. I was like, well, if I wasn't heavy in with Ryan and Jules here, I'm definitely not heavy in with fucking Grant showing up. So let me just bow out. And yeah, really surprised to see him leave the roster, but honestly, I get it. He wants a guaranteed spot, and he's got it here, so that's fine. And it's not like there's bad blood, but
no.
That is a BFF for life friendship going at each other. You're right. It will be interesting.
I'm very curious.
Someone's not going to be happy at the end of it.
No, someone isn't.
Someone's not, and I don't know who it's going to be.
My guess is Ryan, because that he's going to get tilted if Grant Prone kills him a couple times in a row.
Yeah.
The first time he'll laugh.
Yeah, first time it's funny. Second time it's offensive.
Yeah, by the third time, there's your ears are going out. Like, he's still fucking prone. Like, yeah.
Jules is really good on Shamil.
Oh yeah.
Especially I'm taking Thunder, and I'm taking it by 2.5 caps.
Okay. And I'm
not taking too much away from Rat Pack here, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is.
It is upset watch.
Yeah.
I don't want to put an upset watch label on it, but I'm putting an upset watch label on it.
I got an upset watch label on this thing. I've been tooting Rat
Pack's horn. Pretty chill this season.
Yeah.
Pretty chill. Pretty little too chill.
I don't like it.
I know you don't like it.
I'm not a fan of this lack of scrimming. I don't like when people aren't calling out Thunder for trying too hard on scrims.
It's like not even the Thunder Scrim League anymore. No. It's the Insomnia Gamers Scrim League.
Yeah.
T3 Scrim League.
We should be taking advantage of the fact that there are a couple teams scrimming all the time, but we're not. We're playing goddamn CSGO, and most of it is spent in the YPRAC server learning smokes.
And then we're losing 3-16. Yeah. So
all that what are we even doing? Trouble.
But yeah, that's my final thoughts. Thunder over Rat Pack, match of the week gold. Will be exciting. Will be interesting. Some big matchups in Factory, some big matchups in Underpass. Big hitters on both sides at all routes. It's going to be a must watch. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see it because Corey will be playing in it. And I will. Don't know if anyone will be casting it. So
TC could cast it with somebody else.
Maybe. I wanted to cast with Louis when he casted you guys' match.
There you go.
Week 1, but we had to play or we were about to scrim. I can't remember.
We're going to be playing on, I think, Monday, so it'll be a different day from everybody else.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe that's something we can figure out because it's definitely going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah. I look forward to it. I have been saying since Rat Pack Forum that I think that they're going to be the biggest surprise of this season. I think that team has a really good composition, and I'm about to have to find out firsthand when we've scrimmed twice this week and only once on the map of the week, and that was with the heavy, not the sniper. So.
Yep, I think Rat Pack has a case to be the third best team in gold.
Absolutely.
With a potential second best team in gold.
Yeah.
With the potential to be the first best. They beat Thunder, and then we're in full chaos mode week 2.
Right. So early.
It could happen.
It
kind of happened early last season, so I'm looking out for it.
That's what I'm liking about this season, I think, more than anything, is just all 3 divisions truly are wide open. Like, that's not just me being like, well, we won last season, so I can't say we're going to win again. Like, no. Truly, anybody in gold can beat anybody else on any map.
I agree completely. Gold is, I won't say it's wide open, but it's very competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Any team has a chance to win.
T3 just lost. You don't see that happen often. Thunder lost last season, lost the season before that. Well,
that's what happens when you think, we'll just run one back up, no big deal.
It's Anzio.
It's just clinic on Anzio.
We never lose on Anzio.
And then you lose, and it's like, okay, who are we?
When's the last time we lost a scrim on Anzio, guys? Come on, we're fine.
Never lost on Anzio.
Who needs Tox?
He's toxic.
Fuck.
All right, well, that's gold. What's our time? Just
2 hours and 27 minutes.
Is that a new record?
I think so.
God, are we just going to keep setting the record every week now?
I think we might have to figure out a new format for this.
Yeah. We might need a fucking timer for each section. You know? When that timer goes up, we just fucking bite the bullet and move on. Well, I'll tell you, if you made it this far, thank you for listening.
Right.
Thank you for riding this journey with us. DODCAST episode 69, whatever we're at.
Something like that.
I think it's 18.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll call it 18.
18 feels right, but it's probably wrong. Again, congrats to the 3 MVPs for week 1. That was Duality, Die Life, and Vertex, Seanality, excuse me. And as always, let us know what you guys think. You want to hear any topics, anything you want us to talk about on the DODcast, give us some feedback. We love the comments. Thank you again for the VPN feedback, Leo and Arachnid. And anything else, Corey?
No, I think that's it. I have to pee very badly. So
Yep. Better to let it go than hold it in.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. And sorry it's 2.5 hours. Next week it'll probably be 2 hours and 45 minutes. So
no promises.
Yeah. Everybody who wants to cast this weekend for the Thunder matches or any that are scheduled for the same time, let Chi or me or Tox know. Yeah. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll see you guys Sunday. I'll cast everything I can. Have a good night. It's Friday. Go out, do stuff. Love you guys. Peace.
Have a good weekend.